What up? What up, world? Happy Friday to everybody, man. How you doing, brother?
Oh man, it's Friday. I'm blessed to make it and be here. You know.
Same here, man. It's my mother's birthday
Oh,
and my little cousin Donovan's birthday. So, happy birthday, mom. Happy birthday, Donovan. We're gonna party it up this weekend.
yeah.
Excuse
Happy
me. This
birthday.
went down the
Happy
wrong
birthday to your
windpipe.
folks. Yeah, happy birthday to your mother.
Oh, appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Send
Yes.
the
And so, we still got to cook it up on a Friday. There's always stuff to talk about. I know everybody's talking about that versus that happened. Are we getting anybody coming in? Okay. Antonio's in the building. I know we're a little bit earlier. We're early and late at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, we're within striking distance of our audience. You know.
I think we are. Even if people come in a little bit later and thinking it's the normal time and we already been rocking for an hour, I think it's cool. Yep. Cousin '08 says, y'all early today. Damn. Nas the Ghost says, peace, King. Yes, peace to everybody out there. We got to talk some Lupe Fiasco today. Nas the Goat already says the Lupe album is fire. I know y'all love Lupe. We love Lupe too. So we definitely going to talk some Lupe today. We're going to talk about Verzuz too as a unit. We're going to talk about the Verzuz last night. We're going to talk about Memphis Bleak and Joel Santana doing the next Verzuz. We're going to talk about the Snoop and Eminem record. You there, Coop?
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, okay.
I was just watching myself online. I had to clean my lens.
Oh, okay, I got you. See, this is live television. This is how we do. And while we're checking everything, let me go ahead and make sure I'm on airplane mode so I don't get any. Okay, no disturbances. All right, cool. People said, "What's up? What's up, everybody?" Lupe did it again. Everybody's happy about this Lupe effort. I like it too.
You said Lupe did it again. Did what again? Okay.
Oh my God, man. Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. I know you said you like it too. We're gonna get into that. I want y'all to also check our fresh artist of the day, DeMar Warren. He was affiliated with like the Rangers or whatnot back in the day, doing some solo stuff. We got his video in the community section. He just dropped his album Undeniable. Shit is dope. DJ Premier jumping on the beginning of his record, talking about when he first met him. And yeah, check it out. You will not be disappointed. It's a lot of rapping going on, and I love it. That's why I like when we were talking the other day, man. We were talking Wednesday, and people are saying that be the end of rap music. Rap music is not seeing the end no time soon. And Lupe, Snoop, M, a lot of rapping going on. Where you want to start, man? You want to start with this French Montana and Benny and Jadakiss song?
That seems like a nice, soft, comfortable opening for all. Yes. Yes.
You know what? I cheated a little bit because, initially, I guess to let the audience know, we didn't know that French Montana dropped the full length. So by the time that we did figure that out, it was too late to really, go through all that and review it and listen. But I listened to a lot of the project, actually. And
me too.
I like, I don't know, man. French Montana's one of those artists that I think because of the way he delivers it and his production choice, I enjoy listening to his music. Is he the dopest? Nah. You know what I mean? But I enjoy the way he puts together material. Even that line that he said where it's like, all the girls on, everybody on E, like they managed by Kris Jenner or something like that. I don't know, however he put it together.
No. Like, I think he was saying something, everybody like not eating like Kris Jenner or something like that. I remember.
No, he said on E.
On E? I thought he was like, okay. Either way.
I thought it was dope. I mean, I don't know, man. He makes me laugh.
He had some bars on there. I'm not the fan that you are. I respect him. I respect what he does.
I think he would have an interesting verses, honestly, with all the features that he's on and all the bangers that he's provided.
He might be more deserving than the two people that are about to go up, if you really want to be honest.
You remember when he tried to challenge Kendrick Lamar for a versus?
That wasn't a good idea.
That was hilarious. But what I think where he was going with it was the fact
I don't know where he was going.
Where he was going was the fact that Kendrick doesn't make radio records and he does. That's where they were going.
He still shouldn't go there. Like other artists can go there with Kendrick. He's not one of them.
Well, I mean, Hot 97 and Ebro and those guys, they were entertaining it and they kept score and all that stuff. I don't know if they were baiting Kendrick or what, but yeah, I thought that was wild. I mean, speaking of people just saying crazy shit in reference to verses, Jim Jones said that he could beat Rakim in the verses, and it's like, come on, man, stop that. That's just disrespect.
So, I actually tell you what, it's going to be part of our conversation today because, you know, I know how people feel about Lupe and how we feel about Lupe. And we were going to have some all-time talk. And, of course, when we're having some all-time lyrical talk, I think for me and for you, the first person that comes to mind is Rakim. So I actually listened to Follow the Leader and Let the Rhythm Hit Him today. And I don't mean the songs. I mean both of the albums. And Jim Jones doesn't stand a chance in hell against Rakim, even on Rakim's bad day. Rakim could play one of those albums.
Listen, man, that's not even a conversation. Like I said, like it's literally, and like I said, I like Jim Jones and I like some of his songs, but it's literally like B.J. Armstrong saying, "Look, man, I could beat Michael Jordan. Cut it out."
Yeah. Like if Mike broke his ankle and showed up to practice with the flu, he would be.
It still wouldn't happen.
Might be a draw.
It still wouldn't happen.
Just saying.
So, all right. So Jim Jones, what are you gonna do when Paid in Full gets played, or what are you gonna do when Eric B. is President gets played, or what are you gonna do when My Melody gets played? Or I mean, this ain't even. I don't even know why I'm even entertaining it on this show. But anyway, what was the name of the record with because I'm sitting here listening to the album now.
Oh,
Bricks and Bags.
Bricks and Bags, yeah.
Yeah. What you think about the song?
My first note is you got to feed these streets. Mm-hmm. So he did that.
Benny
sounds really good on here. I mean, when I heard he was on the track with Benny and Jada, I'm like, okay, lyrically out of your weight class, but I thought he held his own really, really well. In between them too, because he had Benny started off and Kiss sewed it up. Said Harry Fraud is doing his thing right now. I was saying that because I listened to some of the other joints too, like you did. I haven't listened to the whole project yet, but I've heard about half of it now. It's pretty dope.
Somebody said French Montana's album is better than Mr. Morale. Y'all really don't like Mr. Morale like that, huh? Are we really gonna do that, guys?
Here's my thoughts, though. I was like, man, I said, that's Jadakiss. He's never... when do you ever hear him off?
Jadakiss is consistency. I don't even know where to put it.
Okay, so do you remember a conversation that we had before we even had this following like this, where I asked you if you felt like Benny had the better verse than Kiss on Gods Don't Bleed, and you were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, but no. I said, because how many times in his career has Kiss shown up with that quality of verse? Now, that was in 2020 that we had that conversation. That song got made, I believe, late 2018 or 2019.
Right.
Now, that was Benny fresh off of either making plugs or in the process of making plugs and Blind Tails out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he's surging, and that's lyrically, for most people, the best that he's ever sounded. And so lyrically at the best he ever sounded at that point, Kiss was still right there with him, okay? Here we are 3 years later, same record. You hear who Kiss is now? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what, because Benny's not there with Kiss on this record, but then, and it's not to take a shot at Benny, because that's not what it is, but it's that's who Kiss is. It's no, you got to show up all the time. Every time if he's on a record, because he can. It's his niche. It's his specialty.
I don't think people understand how difficult it is to remain that consistent over this span of time. And we can listen to all of the greats and understand how difficult that is. I would say Black Thought is an example of that, but I don't think Black Thought does the amount of verse work that Jada does, and doesn't do it over a variety of material like that either.
Thought is more selective about, where he disperses his shit. And it's not like he doesn't disperse, because Thought does hand out verses semi-regularly and yearly, much like Kiss. But man, Kiss will put in work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
You'll hear Kiss over here, over there. You hear a Lox joint over here. Kiss album coming out, mixtape.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, you hear all about the Benjamins play randomly on the radio. You'd be like, okay, yeah. Be like, okay.
Yeah. He's on an Usher record or whatever. He'll do that. He'll jump on R&B records.
Look, you'll hear Maya's original version of Best of Me come on or something. You'd be like, oh yeah. Be like, oh yeah, man, this dude everywhere.
I mean, the fact that he's got 2 different verses that he's done and he could do another one just tells you everything you need to know about just where he's everywhere.
He hasn't even like gotten to some of his most killer stuff, like catalog wise. Like he hasn't.
He's impressive, man. And so, you know, whenever he's on a record, it's like almost like it's a given. We don't even talk about Black Illuminati like that because we just expect that from him, you know?
That's what he does. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He does that.
But on the flip side of things, though, he does improve whoever he's on a record with because they know that Jadakiss is on here.
That's what I mean. And so it's not like Benny sounds bad on here. It's not like Montana sounds bad on here. It's more of a testament to who Kiss really is. That's what I'm saying. When he says he's like the king of these 16 bars, like, no, that's legit.
He is.
You call somebody for 16 bars, nobody's done it at this high of like a lyrically respectable level. It's not like these bars that he gives out are like corny or that the streets or hip hop heads don't respect. They're respectable high level bars. They're corny. You know, he's not like saying the same words over and over again over a 4-bar stanza either. You know what I mean?
It's very impressive. That's why when his birthday came up and we had to like track down his best verse or best songs, it's nearly impossible.
We need more time than that. We need more time than that.
Honestly, man, Jadakiss could have a top 20 verses countdown on his own.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that way about him prior to 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think Benny had the better verse on this one?
No, Kiss has the better verse on here. That's what I'm saying about how hard it is to do what he does. Because, Benny had the better verse 3 years ago, but that's when Benny was peaking. This is a marathon, you know? And
I think Benny sounded good on here.
No. Benny sounded good on there. I'm not saying he's not right there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would give Kiss the upper hand on this one, and that speaks to who Kiss is. And, I mean, this is year number what? Because I started hearing him on mixtapes in, like, early 97?
Yeah.
Late 96?
This would be my question, right? And I don't think this is too out of bounds for, like, you know, the conversation since we're talking French Montana and he put Benny and Jada on the same record. Where is New York hip-hop right now? Like, because I think the New York hip-hop has kind of been a lot of different things over the past 5 to even 10 years.
Are you saying New York hip hop as in like Griselda and like that whole upstate thing included?
Well, let's say New York City, because clearly Griselda has influenced New York City. We know what Buffalo is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just tri-state because it's like it's not even like necessarily like a Buffalo thing because I don't even like up there is different. It's like Buffalo right there, Rochester's right there. Mm-hmm. You know, you right close to Niagara Falls, Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot right there, and so like that area has appeared to kind of pop up. You know what? It's kind of very Memphis-like. You know what I'm saying? Like they got their own, like it's connected to the South, but it's rooted in Southern culture, but it's succinctly its own and got something else going on that's like very like attractive and gravitational, like 3-6. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, you know, you got the mayor of New York, right? You know, with the whole drill thing that he got going on as far as trying to ban drill music, and it was interesting, even with that whole thing with the drill music, he's sitting there talking to Mano and, you know, and guys like, and it's like, well, they don't really make that. But I guess the younger people in New York hip hop right now are on some Fabio Foreign, possibly. Like, I don't know. I guess because the underground hip hop in New York looks different than what the mainstream looks like. And then you got, you know, wild cards out there like a Cardi B. And whatever crew she's, you know what I'm saying, representing, and then all of this is New York.
I get what you're saying. You know, I really had an honest thought. I was like, this is one of those things why we're gonna have to like get some correspondence, because it's like I don't know how accurately to assess that situation because I'm not in the streets of New York. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, let me see for the people who are in New York in our chat. You know, Homeboy Blaze says Rock Marciano's been holding it down for the New York underground.
Right.
Indie hip hop
is
those
sentiments for a long time.
Yeah,
he's actually the start of this new era underground king thing that's going on with New York and specifically upstate with Griselda.
I like what Free had to say. It says New York hip hop is mostly independent acts and legacy acts. Then Buffalo is in the middle of both. I like the term legacy acts. We don't really hear that enough, and I think that's a really dope term. Where you got guys like Method Man that are putting out dope material, but because they're Method Man and because we remember Method Man for being from a certain era and the material he made then, it's like we don't really count him in some of these discussions. Same thing with KRS. Yeah.
You know, I asked you if KRS-One could be like in the MCA discussion, and you were like, no, like it's like no, dude, like he doesn't count at this point. He's somewhere else,
Yeah. I mean, and I know we just got a thumbs down for that, not on the negative level. It's almost like, you want to...
It's almost like in a respectable way. It's like, well, I don't want to classify him with these other guys that are clearly in their prime or on the tail ends of their prime sparring still, when he's just been doing this so much longer than everybody else who he's still in the stratosphere of lyrically. You know what I mean? It's almost like, no. It's like, Scarface has an album called Emeritus. And emeritus is like that highest honor of like teaching and professional status, And so like KRS-One is like emeritus status. It's like he's got like a purple sash of lyricism when he shows up. He don't need to be in no conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's all for the love at this point. And not to say that people who are in the conversations are not doing it for the love. It's just that somebody like KRS has literally zero to prove.
Zero.
Nothing to prove at all. You're cemented and your legacy cemented. Okay. We got a super chat here. Antonio says, hold on, let's see. Yeah, Antonio says, did y'all hear the Ray and Ghost song on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game? I heard Ghostface spitting while he was playing and I lost it. While I was playing and I lost it. Yeah, that shit is hard. Did you hear that, Coop?
No.
Yeah, check that out once the show is over, man. It's so much music out there, man.
Ray and Ghost got a track on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What's it called? Is it like a robbery track?
Forgot what it was called, but I actually heard it on Twitter. Of all things, I saw it pop up on my timeline and heard Ghost spitting, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta check this out."
Back and forth, some back and forth.
No, I wasn't back and forth. No, a lot of NYC's strongest lyricists are in the battle rap scene. That's interesting too. Does the battle rap scene take away from that?
Yeah, because because what we get down in Atlanta is we hear a lot of the drill talk. And of course, we're ahead, so we see what's going on with Griselda and Stove and Che Noir, and how Griselda is spun off in the drum work, and Benny has his affiliates, and they even got some ties down here.
Well, I want to ask the New York people, though, does New York radio, and y'all might not even listen to New York radio, this ain't like the early 2000s, does New York radio even support New York rappers anymore? Because it's been a minute since they did that, and I know when they start, playing Lil Jon and all that stuff heavy around like 2005, it's like it never went back. That's what they blame 50 Cent for. And I disagree with that. I think 50 was making some real New York shit.
I do too, actually.
Yeah. I Run New York was crazy.
I thought his records were more in vein with the New York sound, just like Dipset's was. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
That was still East Coast hip hop to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even when I hear Get Rich or Die Trying, it's like I know Dre did those beats, but it's like No, that's still like some East Coast gangster talk. And when he is talking Coast gangster talk, he's like letting you know that he's doing it on Get Rich or Die Trying too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like on the intro, like on What Up Blood, What Up Gangster. You know what I'm saying?
J Mar says New York radio is god awful. Well, that's sad to hear.
God awful though.
Huh?
Radio is just god awful.
It doesn't have to be though. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say hypothetically. Mm-hmm. Let's just say you got like a Stretch and Armstrong type situation going on where you got a college radio station that's operating out of Columbia University that got reach. They got a lot of hip hop records they could play in today's time. You could really just have like a straight up 2-hour block of just some real dope hip hop shit that just came out in 2022. I mean, we see the Spotify playlist that you put together. Playlist that you put together. So I'm plugging that. Imagine if you had like a set, like a 2-hour block where you were just playing whatever. That was the dopest shit this year.
Oh, who like us? Aren't we about to do that too?
I mean, I didn't say we were about to do. I mean, it could happen. You know what I mean? But I don't know if people will listen though. But you know.
I mean, to be honest with you, I know you and I talked about this, and thanks for plugging our Spotify channel where I'll be putting the playlist up at. But that's actually the reason why I do the playlist, Mike, is because the radio sucks. And sometimes I get in these zones or these spaces or these conversations, and I'm like, man, I can give you an hour or 2 hours worth of good music, just like, I can give you a quick 15, 20, 25 songs, like boom, boom, bam. I'm actually working on 2 separate playlists right now to kind of plug it. It's like... Been having a lot of Prodigy talk lately, which I love.
Yeah. And so, you know what? Radio has created that narrative that ain't no dope hip-hop out right now. You know what I'm saying? Well, and that's because of radio. People who say that kind of stuff listen to the radio.
Well, hold on. I want to pull up our Spotify channel right quick because I'm working on 2 playlists, and they're based on conversations we haven't. I'm working on a Greatest Songs from Soundtracks playlist for our Spotify page. That's hard. And that's going to be longer. That's actually probably going to be more like that's going to be the longest song player on there. That's probably going to be like 35 to 40 songs when I get done with it.
What do you think is the greatest hip-hop song on a movie soundtrack? Is it Regulate?
It could be Regulate. I mean, keep in mind, Know the Ledge is off of Juice.
Yeah.
What else was I? Hold on, let me go.
Benz or Beamer comes to mind for me.
I got Benz or Beamer. I think that's personal. Summertime in the LBC.
Oh, that's a good one.
Shack.
Everyday Thing by Bone.
Everything. The Afro Puffs on Above the Rim.
That is on Above the Rim, yeah.
Or Out a Little Liquor is on Above the Rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's stuff everywhere. And so...
do you count The Show as a soundtrack?
The Show is a soundtrack.
I'm going to keep it real. It's tough to beat How High. Method Man and Redman on How High, I think it's one of the more, I don't want to say overlooked, but you know what I mean? It's like, that song is epic.
It might be the best rap duet ever, so I don't think it's overlooked at all. Isn't that
they created the group, I would imagine.
I mean, isn't that song in conversation for like literally greatest like pairing ever on one song? Just like coming together, like, cause think about it, that's the first time they came together. It's like, that's what you did the first time you came together.
First time y'all ever came together, y'all made this.
I mean, that lyrically and style wise was a game changer.
That was one of those songs I heard as a kid where I was like, yo, this shit is amazing.
I think if we're talking like on some straight up hip hop talk, I think, like How High and Know the Ledge kind of pushed themselves further to the front because of the MCs and the quality of MCing and the importance of the artist. But that's why I brought up Summertime in the LBC and you brought up Regulate. Well, you can't take away from those bangers where it's like where people was playing that record all summer.
Right. Chris is asleep.
Dub Shack?
That was a great record. Chris is asleep with the super chat says A2HH radio coming this fall. Y'all would be hilarious hosts arguing with dudes on a live calling. Cheers. Yeah, that'd be dope.
Actually. You dudes don't want no smoke, man.
But see, my thing is like, in theory, yeah, I think it'd be dope shows and really good shows. But where would y'all listen to this at? Would y'all listen to internet radio or? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to just put it out there and ain't nobody listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
So,
or does this go in podcast format? I don't know.
Yeah, the other playlist I'm working on is actually somebody was bringing up some of Prodigy's best verses, and I was just like, you want to know what? Let's just put together a list of Prodigy's best stuff because Prodigy doesn't get the love that he deserves. I thought about something. This is real head talk. This is what I mean. I said I wanted to have some head conversation today. Do you know how wild it is that in 1995, Prodigy is laying down the rhymes that he's laying down in 1995 and in 1996? Listen to what I'm about to say. And he's not even the best rapper in his fucking neighborhood. Yeah. You want to talk about a chip on your shoulder? Have you listened to his rhymes on The Infamous and on Hell on Earth? He's not even the best rapper in his neighborhood.
Well, Nas is around there.
Like,
but he was one of the best rappers in New York.
No, I mean, he's literally, I mean, if you go, how about this? And this is what I mean more head talk. Mike, we're from down here. You're from Atlanta. I was raised in Atlanta. I spent most of my life down here. This is the home that I always come back to even when I leave. You listen to Andre on Southern Playalistic, and then go listen to Prodigy on The Infamous. Don't tell me that Andre's better.
Oh, no, he's not.
Than Prodigy.
No, the only conversation is when Andre steps it up on ATL.
So let's have that conversation right quick. And this is what I mean about how special Prodigy is.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a conversation in Southern Playalistic. Dre makes it a conversation on ATLians. That's one of the most important moments that happened for Southern MCs, actually, is because Andre was actually the first person. It's like when you finally meet the requirements to go to their ball. Andre on ATLians was the first Southern MC that fit the requirements to go play at the New Yorkers ball. Like, it's like, no, we have an MC who lyrically and style and voice and deliver can do the things that your best MCs can do. But even with that being said, he's not as chilling as Prodigy is. And he's still not as good in 96. He's not better than Prodigy in 96, actually. Not yet.
You know,
He doesn't have a Nighttime Vultures type of verse. He doesn't have a Hell on Earth type of verse, a Give It Up Fast, a Still Shining, Apostle's Warning. He don't. I mean, he's got the Elevators and the Babylon, and he's like there, but here's what I mean. And I say this respectfully, it's like, yo, if Andre or Nas was in trouble, like out in the streets, I wouldn't go get them or get my people to go get them. If Prodigy was, I would, because he evokes a type of feeling. No, I'm serious. Because he evokes a type of feeling out of you. You know what I'm saying? And a relatability and a realness.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, no. That shit matters. You know? Like you tell me, it can't all be all that lyrical miracle word stuff. It's like, no, Prodigy got the lyrical miracle word stuff, but he got that street aesthetic and that realness to him too. It's like, no. I want to go smoke and chill and like chop it up with Pete. You feel me? Andre and Nas don't give you those type of vibes in 96.
You're saying a lot. We
got Escobar and a guy wearing a turban in 96. You feel what I'm saying? Prodigy is on his rap shit in 96 still.
Darren Harris says, I think Prodigy actually outbars Nas on It's Mine and Self-Consciousness when it comes to some of their collabos.
Not on It's Mine, but here's what I will tell you. This Prodigy playlist is actually starting off with Self-Conscious to highlight how great Prodigy is because he did get Nas on Self-Conscious. That's actually how my playlist is starting. Because you need to hear how dope Prodigy is, and the best way to show you how dope Prodigy is to put him up against the best, who he's rhymed next to plenty of times. So Self-Conscious is one of his 10 best verses, probably.
I want to go back to this Andre thing.
Go ahead.
Because, you know, the old me would have been like, nah, never. But I understand.
Nas on Self-Conscious. See, this is what I mean. Like, y'all talking about that rhyme and stuff again. It's like, no. P making you feel, and he's saying certain things where it's like, it's different. You want to know, we don't talk about Prodigy enough the way that we talk about Beans and Scarface. How about that?
You're right.
Same thing going on. That's what I mean. Like when he say, I got you stuck off the realness, a lot of dudes been told you that they real. It never struck you like that. His voice, his tone, his approach is the one that made you really feel, I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous. You heard of us. Actually, we hadn't heard of you. You feel me? Yeah. But you believed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going through these ATLian verses in my head.
Go ahead.
And I mean, everything on this fire. So, you know, I see where Dumb It Down's coming from.
The Tupac diss, drop a gem on him. That's what I'm saying. Flashbacks to the house you got scuffed it in. You would think that getting your headshots enough, but then now you want to go against my team. Must have been drunk when you wrote that shit. Too bad you had to did it to your own self. My rebellion, retaliate. I had the whole New York State aiming at your face off top. Man, come on.
We need to, you know what we need to do, man. We might need to have a mock versus when it comes to Andre and Prodigy. In 1990, what you say, 5 and 6?
I mean, because here's the thing.
You're only able to pick verses from 5 and 6, and I'll pick Andre verses from 95 and 96.
Yeah, because you still got Benzor, Beamer, and Thought Process. You got other stuff too, yeah.
And we'll quote these verses.
Yeah.
Either, rap them or whatever, because we know these verses like the back of our hand, and we'll let the people, choose which verse was better and, for which scenario. So are we going to go with 10 verses or 20?
I think it's more fair to Andre to do 10 because I do have 2 full-length albums to go off of in 95 and 96, The Infamous and The Hell on Earth. So I can give you 20 Prodigy. You're going to be harder pressed to give me the 20 Dre. We're going to have to creep into 94. But I'll let you do that.
I can do 95. I mean, because Soul Food's 95, and you know what I'm saying?
That's only one Andre verse. It's an epic Andre verse. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's special. I mean, how about this? Let's do 15. Meet me in the middle.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. We can do that.
Yeah.
People are saying, why so early? I got to go to a birthday party at like 7. So, we had to do a little earlier show. But everybody's kind of coming in. We got like 183 people. I know everybody expects us to be here at 4.
I think people start getting ready for us around 4. And so then like, hold on, these dudes is already on? Like, when they come on? Yeah, I'm bad.
Yeah.
Here's what I will tell you, though. And you know this, Mike. Andre on ATLians is the guy that made us all believe that we could do it down here. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So as far as we are looking at it through rose-colored glasses sometimes about Andre on ATLians because what people who are not from down here do not understand. None of us believe that we could be the greatest MC or make it like this until he rhymed the way that he rhymed on ATLians. It wasn't even Southern Playalistic. When we heard him rhyme that way on ATLians, it's like, no, hold on. I'm in too. Let's go.
Yeah, it was that last verse on Elevators, man. It really changed everything. I would say it's 2 verses from him. It's the thought process verse and then the Elevators.
Into the Elevators verse.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, because the thought process verse, he stepped it up, and it was like, oh, okay.
Right. And we all believed, didn't we? And so it's important. But we have to understand that part of that feeling and that vibe is because it had never happened before. We had never had a lyricist of his caliber come around. And not just Atlanta, the South. And that's all due respect to Scarface. Scarface is a more fully imposing and all-encompassing and songwriting MC, not the bar-for-bar lyricist that Dre is.
Right.
And so hearing Dre rap on that level, it was like, no, we all believed, but we're also looking at it through rose-colored glasses because of that. That nigga Prodigy is over there murdering stuff, track after track, nighttime vultures, Mike. Like, as much as I love the verse on Elevators and how important it is, it's like when you put that verse on Elevators up against the verse on Nighttime Vultures, it's like, no.
Okay, we're gonna do that.
That's Mike. That's that classic, super lyrical, detail-oriented, East Coast rap shit. Mike, the verse by Raekwon on there is stupid nasty, and people oftentimes forget about it. That's how great Prodigy is on there. Like, Ray's actually telling a story on the second verse of Nighttime Vultures, and people forget it sometimes. Prodigy so chilling on Nighttime Vultures. So it's like, you don't forget Big Boy on Elevators.
I see your point, but what we need to do is we need to strip these verses down, spit them to the people, and then just kind of go from there.
The Godfather Part 3 verse, that's what I mean. Like, Prodigy's all, man.
Darren Harris says, the Hell on Earth versus ATLians was a real debate in the winter of 96.
Was, in November. I remember arguing about it in November of 96. It's like, yo, what's better, Hell on Earth or ATLians? It's like, I don't know. Who's better? It's like, I don't know.
I remember the whole argument was always like, who's the best duo? And Outkast, at least in my high school years, was holding that title. And this is the rapping Outkast, like, And then because we had some high hopes for Method Man and Redman's Blackout, and I love that album personally. But you got to understand, the Blackout came out after Kumina dropped, so it's like we couldn't. So, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Outkast still got that title.
I didn't give Outkast advantage over Mobb Deep, The Tribe Called Quest, or Wu-Tang Clan until Stankonia, because I hadn't heard a fourth album from any of those groups that matched that album. So for me, it was always a neck-and-neck arms race with Outkast and Mobb Deep. I was more partial to Outkast because of upbringing, influence, understanding. But if we're just all things being equal, it's like, well, we have the infamous Hell on Earth and Murder Music. Well, we have Southern Playalistic, ATLiens, and Aquemini. No, that's comparable stuff going on. Because the infamous and Aquemini would be a comparable pairing. Hell on Earth and ATLiens, comparable pairing. Murder Music, Southern Playalistic, comparable pairing.
So you're just going to skip Juvenile Hell?
Huh?
We just going to skip Juvenile Hell.
I mean, we're going to skip Idlewild, too. Stank on. You feel me? So Stankonia for me is the tipping point, because America's Nightmare and Infamy aren't Stankonia if you even put both of them together.
Yeah. I'm partial to Cass, but I still don't really put Cass advantage over Tribe like that.
Like I said, the Stankonia, no, even with Tribe, because it's like, well, if you want to go to those first three albums for each, that's fine. Go listen to The Love Movement, go listen to Stankonia.
No, I got you with the albums or whatever, but when it comes to the individual songs, like Tribe did both, where it's like those Tribe songs are big, and
now,
they sound really good like right now. And I don't know if it's because Cass doesn't perform anymore, and they really aren't able to keep their legacy alive like that, but those songs don't age as well as the Tribe stuff does to me.
Well, actually, the same thing is true about Mobb Deep in relationship to Outkast too.
Yeah.
Like Survival of the Fittest, Give Up the Good, Shook Ones, Godfather Part 3, Hell on Earth, still like those songs have held up better than the Outkast songs. So it's actually true on both sides. But listen to what I'm saying. First of all, who taught Havoc how to do drums again?
Q.
Okay.
And Q-Tip is Dre's father. So it is what it is.
So part of the reason why these sounds and styles are holding up is because they're fundamentally rooted in one of the greatest hip hop producers of all time minds, and in the East Coast greatest run, music wise. Well, Q-Tip had a whole lot to do with that. Okay, yep. And so part of why Mobb Deep sounds so timeless is because it's influenced by Q-Tip. Where Q-Tip from?
Queens.
Okay, and so where Tribe from? Where Fife from? Where hip hop? You get what I'm saying? So it's hip hop oriented in a way that
Linden Boulevard.
Right. It's hip hop oriented in a way that Outkast can never be in terms of its origins, in terms of the sound, in terms of what you hear, in terms of what you like. So it's probably going to carry longer, Mike.
LP says Back to Business is the best fourth album by a group. Yeah, shout out to EPMD. EPMD's catalog is crazy. And you know what? I think that you and I sometimes leave EPMD out of these discussions because they were slightly before our time. And we didn't really live it like that, right? Because Eric Sermon wasn't in our producer discussion. And you didn't even have an EPMD album on your top 100.
No, I've been scolded about that.
Yeah, I think the first album definitely deserves to be.
What's that? Strictly Business?
Yeah, Strictly Business got banged.
Yeah. No. That's fair. But like I said, I'm not perfect. I keep on trying to say this. You go make a list of the greatest 100 rap albums of all time in 24 hours. You let me know how it goes for you.
It's difficult.
I'll take all the smoke, but you go do it, and then you let me go critique your stuff. Because what you're going to find is if you actually, have a daughter, have a life, have a job, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? It's not like I literally do this just all the time. I probably spent about 5 hours working on that list. Most of that was spent thinking of song titles and then trying to arrange and structure them. Yeah. Things fall through the cracks of your mind. I'm not perfect. I'm also
that stuff is real time consuming, and we are working on being able to do this full time. LP says jazz based beats have more hold up, have more longevity than electro. You know, this is the thing. I mean, because I guess you could look at Parliament Funkadelic, and I don't even think that Cass is more quote unquote electro. But I will say on Southern Playlistic, a lot of the stuff was rooted in horns and bass guitar, right? And
Yes.
I think that Southern Playlistic has aged better than most of their catalog, in my personal opinion.
I've always said it was their second best album.
It is their second best album.
And if you want to talk about relationship to how all the albums sound-wise have held up, it sounds the best. And I'm going to tell you why. It's the one that's most rooted in the fundamentals of hip-hop, because that album is inspired by guys like who? Q-Tip, Tribe, Hieroglyphic. It's more hip-hop based and oriented. Even with the live instrumentation, it's going to hold up better than the experimental.
I think Dre too. I think Dr. Dre's production had some, influence on how Southern Playlistic sounded musically. Some of the stuff that they were doing on the West Coast G-Funk wise.
It sounds like some rap shit though, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Well, it's the M.I. crooked letter coming around the South, rolling straight hammers and bows in that old Southern South. Please, ain't another instance in my atmosphere. I'm running corners in my lax. Why?
That's how we be rolling
here. No, that's rap shit. That's Southern rap shit.
Man, I was looking at Tribe's documentary yesterday, and I was just thinking like, yo, they had such an advantage just growing up in New York at that time with the block parties, and you got all kind of music being played. You have access to so much music and so many, and just seeing hip hop in its origins and the energy from Jump Street. Like they saw that as kids. I think Q-Tip had an older sister who would take him to the block parties and stuff like that. And it's like, yo, man, that's so dope. Hold on one second. We see I got a breaking news super chat here. My man Swain says, Mike D, M and Snoop, M and CeeLo are both bad songs. Oh my God. Reggie says, breaking news, Jack Harlow and Eminem are forming a venture capital group to buy A2HH. We also heard Jack Harlow hung Coop out a one-story window during the negotiation. Allegedly. Breaking news. All right, so, but yeah, the Tribe documentary, like you said, they're rooted in this, and they saw everything from its origins. They come from a block away from where, Run DMC comes from, and just musically being there. And
think about it. Okay, so
you're not getting it secondhand. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what you have to understand. They're around, so it's like, remember I was telling, like, how Nas is running into the early Rakim and G-Rap sessions behind Large Professor? Who's one of Large Professor's best friends around that time? Q-Tip. They're running around together. Like, all that stuff that Nas seen, Q-Tip was actually there live, living it before. Like Nas is the kid in this story. Q-Tip's a grown man seeing the same things that Nas has seen. And helping contribute to it. And listen, he's hearing Run DMC's albums get made. Rakim's albums get made. Cool G Rap. Main Source. Pete Rock and CL Smooth. You feel what I'm saying? He's around all of this. He's around all of this as a young man. Not a teenager, but as a young man. No, like, super important. Like,
I want to say they dropped People's Instinctive on his 19th birthday or something, on Q-Tip's 19th birthday. So he's not only making this album as damn near a soloist. I mean, respect to Fife, and Fife, people said in the documentary, he just was out here, in the street doing young shit or whatever. But he had like 4 verses on there.
He said it on the album. I only had 3 verses. I think it's
And so Q-Tip not only basically damn near a solo album at 18, but produced it too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because, at least with Cass, they had Organized Noise, or incredible production collective, and they did an incredible job of producing Southern Playlistic and molding Cass too.
Think about it. I mean, you're talking about Queens. So let's say Q-Tip is a 19-year-old in Queens in what, 1989?
No, 1990.
1990. Okay, so in 1990, if you're a 19-year-old in Queens and you're getting a record deal, you're hearing, and you're right around LL Cool J, Run DMC, Rakim is recording out of Queens because of a relationship with Marley Marl, Large Pro, Paul C, Cookie Rap, Beastie. Like, you're around a lot.
Yeah.
You're a lot, and you're making dope shit yourself, improving yourself too. Because you have to understand, when he's coming around with People's Instinctive, he's the young dude on the block now. Those dudes were a little older then. Like Cool J Rap and Rakim aren't 19, and they were 19 a few years ago.
And then when it came to Low End Theory, he's like, man, we got to bump it up to the next level. Phife, I need you here.
Yeah.
And then they did it.
Like, so you remember Andre's verse on Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac?
Yeah.
So he speaks to that. A lot of people around the time when I was in Charlotte thought that was a Nas shot when he said, I grew up to myself, not round no park bitch. These niggas busting flows off up in apartments. Like, a lot of people thought he was talking about, because how's the Illmatic scenery go? Nas sitting on the park bench, right? He's saying, like, no, we didn't grow up like that in the South. Like, I didn't have that type of advantage of growing up around those park bench jams. Like,
being around these ciphers.
Right. I didn't grow up like that. We don't rap like that. But I got you. I'm going to try to rap like how you rap. And that's what ATL is, and you hear it on the beginning. Like that. Because he's letting you know, I grew up to myself, not round no park bench. As in, like, these thoughts and these rhymes and these schemes that you're hearing, where I didn't grow up oriented in it like you do, so I just have to go off what I hear in my own head.
I never really took it like that, but that's dope. I thought it was because somebody just tried to challenge him to a battle. So
no, that's what
I ain't for that fuck shit. So fuck this.
But he's talking about the mentality of it. I grew up to myself, not round no park bitch. Like, I ain't no Busta Freestyle in the crowd off the beat with the we didn't grow up like that, fam.
Never seen an Andre freestyle for real like that.
Right.
Yeah. LP with the super chat says, Tip did that off the Tip did that off the pause tape before the SP 1200. Large is credited as teaching Tip, Rock, and Primo how to use the SP, how to layer samples and such. Yeah, I mean, the fact that he was just doing this off of just the pause tape is crazy.
Playback. Cut. Playback.
This is how they made People's Instinctive. It's incredible, man. Like, when you think of the ingenuity
hold on, stop right there.
Of somebody like that, man. Like, living legend.
Yeah.
Living legend. And again, as much as I love Southern Playalistic, there was a lot involved in that. Like, there was a lot of instrumentation. There was a lot of moving parts, moving pieces. Tribe didn't have all that. It was Q-Tip producing this.
But let's focus on what LP's saying on his super chat, though, because this goes to your environment. Mm-hmm. Tip did that off of pause tapes before the SP 1200. But he's in Queens. You know who else is in Queens? Large Professor.
Yeah.
See, when you're in that environment and you don't know something, you see how close the help is?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's not going on with Outkast. That's why their type of hip-hop sounds succinctly different.
I think Organized had, a collective, and they had collective help. I think what it was like you said, everybody in New York was kind of holding their own and kind of collaborating in that way, whereas down here, it's like, you know what? You produce, I produce, and he produces. Let's just make organized noise as opposed to us being, individuals out here.
No, I mean, that's one of those things because you don't have much of a choice down here at those times.
You're better together.
Like it wasn't, hold on, let's not get this twisted. Like, where Organized Noise and the Dungeon Family is really, like, the most intelligent camp that ever came out of Atlanta, is just because they just very, very clearly understood the circumstances that they were against. And it's like, no. Better if we all get in together, because that's the best way for us to get in.
I mean, because Goody Mob pretty much, Gip was a solo act, CeeLo was a solo act, and the Lumberjacks was a duo, Cujo and Timo. But they were like, no, we need to pull this thing together and be Goody Mob.
Yeah.
Man with the super chat says Eric Sermon was responsible for some of the sounds of the East Coast in the 90s. He produced for the West Coast and the South acts. Also R&B and pop, highly underrated. Yeah, the bass that he provided was crazy.
No, he's been underrated and understated as a beat maker. He is the executive producer of Muddy Waters. And what the album?
Yeah. I mean, he's Redman's main guy when it comes to production. So
El Nino, the Death Squad album, it's an excellently produced album.
All right, I think that's a good transition. Do you want to? I was thinking that we could go Lupe, but then I'm like, okay, well, we talking about Redman. We might as well go to the Snoop and Eminem song.
That's cool. I wasn't expecting that, but I get what you're saying now.
All right, well, Snoop and Eminem, have reunited and put out a song called "From the D to the LBC." I got the artwork here. What did you think about the record?
I thought it was a hip-hop beat, and so I want to hear what you feel about him rapping on a hip-hop beat.
You thought that was a hip-hop beat? Okay.
You don't think that's a hip-hop beat?
It felt a little more shady to me, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like what we normally get from him. It wasn't as, how do we say, trans as most of his stuff.
Thought it was a rap beat, Mike.
Okay.
I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that first before we went any further into it.
No, you know what? Like I said, I think it's closer to a rap beat than, most of his.
Okay. So you want to go to some of the bar work? What'd you think of M's bar work?
I think he did all right on there. I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, like I said, I expected him to jump out there and do the fast stuff. But, it wasn't anything that jumped out at me that was like, yo, that's whack or that's terrible or whatever.
I thought it was a pretty good performance by Eminem.
You know what? I saw Terminator 2's tweet, and he said that Snoop killed M on the record. And I thought maybe he was trolling or something like that, or just, giving Snoop the benefit of the doubt. But Snoop really went crazy on this record.
I didn't say that Snoop didn't go crazy, but we're talking about M right now. You see how you tried to change the conversation when I said
No. I'm just saying.
No, I said I thought M did a good job, and you tried to highlight how good Snoop was on the record. Do you think M did a good job on this record?
I think he did a decent job. It wasn't horrible, It
wasn't horrible.
It wasn't.
I thought it was a dope verse. You don't think it was a dope verse? Okay.
It was a good verse based on what he's been giving us.
No. Hip hop is about bravado. So you don't like when he says, I done bodied some features with legendary names? That's not dope? That's not dope that he's saying that live like that? That's not nice MC bar work? That's not the bravado that we want an MC to spit?
Where's the evidence of that?
Hold on. Watch Dre turn the chronic to monetary gain. Oh, that's real.
I like that line.
Because Dre didn't eat off the first chronic like that now, did he?
I like that.
Okay? So he's got bar work in here. Mike, there's not literary... Where the hell is Leroy Green when I need him?
With the literary devices?
There are not literary devices going on.
Jay Short says, M fans tried to come for Snoop. We said no.
Is there not literary devices being used? Because here's what I thought. When he went to the whole with marijuana and marriage that make you wanna marry Jane, I thought to myself, if Jay, no, this is what I'm about to say. If Jay-Z uses those same exact bars, niggas go crazy. Don't sit up there and tell me. That's exactly the same type of rhythmic syncopization and literary device and alliteration usage that Jay gets lauded for. So you can't tear him down for it, Mike. If Jay would have said those bars, niggas would be going crazy. The way that he flipped the marijuana into make you want to marry Jane. No, if Jay did that, niggas would be like, yo, did you hear how the nigga Hov took the bar? Coop, did you hear?
Leroy Green is in the building.
Coop, it would be 4:00 in the morning and my Twitter would have like 20 messages. Coop, did you hear the way that the God MC Hov of the God, sit up there and took the marijuana and took the marriage and make you wanna marry Jane? Niggas would have lost their minds, but when M does it, it's like, oh, it might be corny. It's not cool. No, it's rhythmic. It's alliteration. It's metaphorical. It's syncopization. So, like, no.
You know, I'm just gonna say this, and I know somebody in the chat
Tell the
says
truest to be quiet. I see the truest. He's a
somebody says
non-troll.
that I'm hypnotized by hate, but I'm just gonna say it like this.
I'm just saying, if Jay did the same thing with the marijuana,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're
the
saying.
Mary Jane, because hold on, because didn't he just do that on Neck and Wrist? The phase I'm on, love, I wouldn't believe it either.
Yeah.
I would be like, Jay-Z's a cheater. Isn't that the same thing?
It's the same thing.
And niggas was going nuts and giving it verse of the year consideration.
It's the thing. It's the same thing in a vacuum, right? But I think what it is.
Leroy Green's here. I've never been so happy for Leroy to be here.
Look, this is the thing. When M does it, it just doesn't sound good. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not gonna lie to you.
M. That doesn't. Hold on. That doesn't change the high level of literary device work going on. It's the same thing that Jay gets lauded for.
You think that's the level of? I didn't love the Faison love thing. I didn't love that. I'm not.
I didn't love it. I didn't love it. He has better, he has better metaphors and like double entendres than that. But he's Jay. He's literally like if he were to actually have a niche, that would be the niche. So it's like when his double entendre doesn't land the way some of his others have, it's like, well, he's the best at it. So. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, but there's still a level, right? There's a level when it comes
but his level's the highest level. So if he doesn't hit the highest levels, it's like, well, you help create the highest level of the double entendre. So,
but if you don't create the highest level when it comes to stuff like that, it almost feels like a reach, right? Like, why are we even attempting that? It's okay.
I feel that way about Jay, though, because here's my thing with literary.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Faison love line.
No, I always feel like Jay's reached with the literary devices. Like with M and with Jay, they put a focus on trying to put those literary devices and entendres at work. I'll say this respectfully. I mean, Mike, we're not as good as Eminem and Jay. I just listen to your stuff that you put up on YouTube and my stuff. We use literary devices in a more natural way than those guys do. Part of why they're so great is because they emphasize it because it's a nuance for them. It's something to show that they're working on their craft. Like the way Mike works on a fadeaway, the way Kareem works on a hook, the way Akeem works on the dream shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to fine tune. I had one of the best bosses I ever had, and he's a real boss. He's a multimillionaire. He told me, everybody's so worried about trying to make people better at what they're not good at instead of maximizing what they're already great at. He's like, I'm into maximizing what people are already great at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I hear Eminem do bar work like this, it's like, no, Jay gets lauded for maximizing what he's already great at and emphasizing it. And actually, I thought this was a better job by him on a better hip-hop beat of doing it. So I'm going to give him credit for that. And even with all of that being said, Snoop was still better.
Man there with the super chat says, just listen, nothing special. It's a 3.8 beat. The beat's fire, though. I'm sorry. 3.8, but the beat's fire.
I just thought that he did a better job than he is often given credit for. This was a dope verse. But even with that being said, you want to hear what my... Hold on. When he hit more hits...
He said, hold on. Is this a line from the song, my reign so definite, my longevity needs a hearing aid?
Yes.
They said that's fire in the chat. I don't know, man.
More hits than a contract killer? No?
More hits than a contract.
If Jadakiss said it, you'd like it. That's what I'm saying.
This is like the Pete Rose line. Like, what hits than
No, but I'm asking.
I don't think if Jadakiss said this, I wouldn't even think about it. Like,
I definitely. How about this? Okay, so that didn't land for you, but I'm keeping that whole marijuana, marriage make you wanna, Mary Jane literary devices that Jay used. Jay does the same thing. It's literally what Jay does the best, and we're not about to skip over it. But like I said, you want to hear my Snoop note though?
Go ahead.
I said voice-wise, I said he just went to let the rhythm hit him levels vocally. I said, and Biggie Smalls level flow-wise on Notorious Thugs. This conversation's over. Because Snoop's intelligent. Snoop understands he'll never be the lyricist that Eminem is. But he's like, I got more flow and more style than this guy could ever pray to have, and I'm going to pull it out. And that's exactly what Snoop's verse is. It's voice-wise. He's using his voice as an instrument on the track to make it match. the way Rakim does on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. But flow-wise, he's doing what Biggie does on Notorious Thugs, which is that multiple syllable flow.
Yeah.
But it's coming out so even the way it's falling at the end of where the bar is structured that it's seamless and it's transitioning. It's the type of shit normal rappers can't fucking do at the drop of a dime when called upon.
Is anybody going to highlight, and I'm not saying this to be facetious, not trying to sound like Joe Biden or anything, but is anybody ever going to highlight in the future that Snoop killed Eminem on this track? I don't think that's going to happen, but we need to note that.
No, he got him.
Yeah. Because anytime Eminem gets on the track with somebody, it's always this narrative that, oh, he killed this person, he killed this person. But with Snoop Dogg, somebody who many, and I don't feel this way because I think Snoop's one of the greats, many don't feel like is a top-notch lyricist or stands with the lyricists of all time. When he gets on the record and out-raps Eminem, we're probably not going to hear anything about it.
Okay, so much like Old Dirty Bastard, Snoop can beat you off of style alone.
It's true, yeah.
He don't need to be lyrical to beat you. How many records has he been on with Corrupt where he's been the star way over Corrupt? You don't even remember Corrupt shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Snoop's one of the greats.
He's one of the greats. And what he did on this is, and this is what I mean about maximizing what it is that you do great. He heard M maximizing what M does great. You know what M does great? He does that multi-syllable pattern flow well. Okay? Uh-huh. He does that double entendre, double meaning well. So he doubled down on it. And Snoop is like, well, I got one of the best rap voices and flows ever. How about I double down on that? How about where I stand, rap voice and flow all time, trait-wise, is higher than what your higher traits are because I'm actually a better MC overall, even though I'm not a better lyricist. I got a better song, making structure and skill. I have a better delivery, flow, cadence, voice, hit-making ability. I'm going to pull all those out, and I'm going to let you do all your lyrical tricks. We're going to see where it lands. Where it lands is I'm the better MC. I got more tools in my bag. Snoop's always been better than M, though.
That I cannot disagree with. Jay Short says, I think you guys are unfair to Eminem. Review his last 4 to 5 albums, and let's see where he actually stands so the listeners can see his actual output. Another person, Kenny Mack said,
how was I unfair when I called the verse dope?
You got to call it king. LP says, M raps like his face is turning red in the booth. LP, you're at it again. LP said M raps like his face is turning red in the booth.
Very problematic.
We got another one from Man Nan. He says, Snoop should have had the first billing on this track title. Yeah, I like Snoop going last on this.
Snoop is better than M. I'm going to say this again.
People are saying that's cap. Another person said that our Eminem coverage is lame.
No, we're about to have the same conversation.
We can't talk about Eminem, huh?
No. We just need to start having honest conversations. Snoop is better because Snoop made the Chronic and Doggy Style. Eminem has never written anything that's even sniffing that. You understand that? I don't care about all that bar stuff. When another guy wrote the Chronic and Doggy Style, nobody cares about how lyrical you are. He's not better than Snoop. He doesn't have more hits than Snoop, and he didn't write the Chronic or Doggy Style. This motherfucking conversation's over. That's not a black thing. That's not a white thing. I don't care how many super lyrical dazzling bars we had. Did that motherfucker write Little Ghetto Boy or Let Me Ride or The Shiznit? Then shut the fuck up.
Are we going to say that?
Shut the fuck up. He's not better than Snoop.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that are better than Snoop. And I think that once again, man, when we think about that verses that Snoop did with DMX, like the music spoke. Do you guys really think that if Eminem was sitting in that spot with DMX against Snoop Dogg, that he would have played better records than Snoop did? Like,
Dre would not let that happen to Eminem's career by placing him against Snoop. How about that?
Wouldn't be fair.
Phrase like, I would never do that to you.
Yeah.
You get slaughtered. You may never come back to me.
No, I mean, and when you think about the longevity too, let's just be totally fair, guys, right? Like Eminem doesn't have a better album than Doggy Style, right? I think anybody with any type of hip hop brain could tell you that, and that's not being biased.
The DLC and Snoop Dogg wrote the Chronic.
Right. Okay, let's get all that out the way, right? Now, let's look at it from a longevity standpoint.
DLC is better than Snoop before the accident, but the accident happened. Somebody put that in the chat. Yes, but the accident happened. So,
well, yeah, we can't
DLC was gonna be like West Coast Rock M, like.
Well, I mean, we can't have those conversations.
We
don't know.
Texas,
like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know. Yeah. But what I was gonna say though, let's just take like, whatever people think side by side out of it. Let's look at the longevity of it. Let's look at the fact that Snoop's been here since 92, 93, and he's been pretty much, I mean, he's here now, and he's been putting out music consistently putting out hits, consistently putting out quality material. M hasn't made an album that's had the fanfare that is at the level of who he is in 20 years. It's literally been like a 20-year drought, guys. So even if you do think that Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show are better than the stuff in Snoop's catalog, you still got a 20-year drought to deal with this other guy. He's been doing it for 30 years pretty much. Non-stop.
Name one Eminem record that's fucking with Murder Was the Case, Mike.
I mean,
name one.
I don't know. I don't even know what anybody would say. I guess they'll say Stan. I don't know.
Name. Try again. Like I said, I'll wait. Name one record. Name one.
Nah.
One.
Jay Short says, you guys don't cover M's bad albums, so they fade.
Do you understand that
he hasn't come out with an album since we've done this show? And I do think that if we went back and talked about Kamikaze, people would think that we're trolling.
No, Music to Be Murdered By came out when we first started this podcast.
Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have a lot of followers then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I might need to go back and pull that discussion up and repost it or something. Because I don't like going back having the discussion after the fact. I like pulling up the originals, so you see what we said in the moment. Like, that's the whole magic
I remember
of the show.
What I said. I said that the album wasn't that impressive outside of the Black Thought and Royce feature song. It had a couple other joints on there. I remember what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's what I say to this, too. You know how this Spotify soundtrack playlist is starting off? With Deep Cover by Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Eminem's not better than Snoop. You listen to what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What is wrong with people? Who in their right mind that actually calls themselves a hip-hop head that knows anything about, like, the... Songs matter. We're going to talk about this with Lupe and where Lupe ranks as an all-time lyricism and why he's not the greatest lyricist of all time. Because it's called a hip-hop record or a hip-hop song. It's not called hip-hop bars over beats. You know what I'm saying? It's called a song. So you got to write a song that carries and stands, not bars. All right?
All right, well, let's talk about drill music in Zion.
It's very problematic.
Let's talk about drill music in Zion. Lupe released his 8th studio album today entitled Drill Music in Zion. I liked it.
I liked it too.
What were your thoughts on the album? Because I know you listened to it earlier. Where do we start with this? I mean, because there's so many places we can go. Like, we can go, album, when we're talking about the best albums of the year, where does it place in that?
Okay, let's start right there. What did you hear when you heard?
Well, you know what? This is what I heard.
Okay.
I said a lot of technical things about, Logic last week.
You did.
And I think Logic hit a lot of marks on a technical level.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that listening to Lupe, it reminds me of, okay, well, this is how you do it and it not sound technical. It sound more natural.
Hold on. I thought I was getting excoriated for when I said these things last week.
No. I see where you were coming from. It's just hard to.
Fascinating. No, not by you, but by people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I hear Lupe, he just sounds like one of those MCs that's just incredibly comfortable and can do whatever he wants at whatever time. I think it was on the Last Dance. BJ Armstrong was talking about where Michael Jordan was at in, like, I want to say the 93 season. He was saying that he had gotten so good that, you know, he not only could control everything that was going on in the game. He could control where everybody was. He had total control of not only his game, but everybody else's game. And it was like he was just seeing things from a different lens and could just, you know, just
manipulate the game at his will.
Yeah, and I feel like with Lupe, he is really honed in on his lyrical powers to the point where he can do anything effortlessly. Very effortless lyricist.
Okay, so not all 4.0 GPAs are created equally. Some school requirements and academics are tougher than others. You get what I'm saying? And that's really what I was trying to express about what Logic did with his album, which is Album of the Year contender, which is a project that I enjoy, which is dope. But it doesn't have some of the soulful feelings and touchy nature that Lupe glides and glosses over effortlessly. It doesn't. And that's not disrespect the Logic. There's levels to this shit. And so when I told you that he could not have Album of the Year, I give you an example why literally the following week. Thank you, Lupe. I can give you a prime example the following week about why it can't happen. Because just on Kiosk and Drill Music and Zion, Mike, got them in spades. Because it got a soul and a vibe and a feel to it that Logic just doesn't create when he makes music. And it's not a disrespect.
It's just...
Damn, you just can't be honest anymore, it seems like, without people being offended. People so goddamn emotional, and I don't mean the way that I'm emotional. I mean in a sucker-ass, punk-ass way.
They're saying that he wrote this album in one day. Is this the album that he wrote in one day?
3 days, supposedly.
What? See.
Also, to that point, to his side of things, well, let me say this. Well, if you write albums like this in 3 days, you don't need to take a long time anymore. This is the best thing that you've done in a while, in my opinion.
And why do you say that? Because we were talking about a few other efforts that, you know, I thought were quality efforts, but...
Can we pull those efforts up? What efforts did you feel like were quality?
Hold on 1 second.
Because I'm going to ask you a question while you pull these things up.
Mm-hmm.
When did it become okay for all-time great lyricists to be subpar songmakers? That's not the standard.
Because that's what we were talking about earlier, right?
But when did it become okay? Because I understand why everybody loves Lupe, but since everybody loves Lupe on this way, and apparently he is in a greatest lyricist of all time conversation, we're going to go pull up some of the other greatest lyricists of all time who he's comparable to, and go pull up his songs versus their songs. And I'm going to show you where he stands. That's why I say they're called hip-hop records and hip-hop songs, not bar exhibitions. Not bar.
Well, you know, I thought Drogas Wave had some really dope songs. And True said Drogas Wave is a classic double disc.
Oh my God.
You felt like Drogas Wave was too long.
It's too long because it's him. So can I
Go ahead.
Can we go into my real dig about Lupe and his lyricism?
Mm-hmm.
The best lyricists do their best work in concise and brief moments like this one. I'm going to go to the two prime examples that get highlighted in hip-hop and in this show, which is Rakim and Nas. How many songs is Paid in Full, Mike?
What, about 9 off the top of my head?
It's 10 songs.
10.
Rakim's only rapping on 9 of them.
Right,
so
right,
you're
right.
correct. Can I interest you in Follow the Leader? Do you know how many songs Rakim is rapping on Follow the Leader?
It's about 8 or 9 on that one also.
He's only rapping on 8 songs on Follow the Leader. Mike, on Let the Rhythm Hit Him, how many songs is Rakim rapping on?
Well, that's a little bit more.
Not much, though.
It's how like many 11 songs? Or so?
10.
10? Okay.
So, listen, in Rakim's first 3 albums, he's rapping over a total of 10, 18, 27 songs. Okay? Average of 9 songs. Because when you rhyme at the level that somebody Rakim rhymes at, lyrically wise and dense wise, if you want to make a classic album and really be heralded as a lyricist, you better keep that shit brief and short to keep people's attention. Lupe's biggest problem is that these damn albums are too long. It's almost like it's too much information. Can I go
this
to
one isn't, though.
Huh? This one isn't, which is why it's the best thing that he's made since The Cool, in my opinion. It's not. I know that he's an all-time great lyricist. Do you know how to be lyrically great on a song consistently, structure-wise, from beginning to end, like other guys? Because there are other guys lyrically as good as you that did this. We're talking about Rakim right now, right?
Dumb It Down says his last 2 albums are classic. I wonder where Dumb It Down got his name from.
No, it's
we got a Lupe fan in the building. Dumb It Down says also, but y'all say Life After Death is GOAT. Why y'all hating on Lupe?
I didn't say Life After Death was GOAT of anything. The best thing I've said about Life After Death is that it might be a top 5 hip-hop album overall, all time. It still didn't make my top 5. It blows everything Lupe has ever made out the fucking water.
Well, see, Life After Death is very impactful, though. I think the thing with Life After Death is the fact that the game changed after it, and people were patterning their albums after Life After Death.
You're making my point. Do you know when lyricists are impactful? When they keep it brief. That's why I'm bringing up how Rakim's doing it. Isn't Rakim one of the 3 most impactful people in hip-hop history, according to you, Mike?
I think so.
Listen to how he did it, though. He didn't do it making 16, 17, 18, 19 songs album with all these amazing bar displays. He did it by showing people it's like, no, I'm the God. I'm super lyrical. I know how to put it in a format that you can understand, digest, going to love and enjoy, and call it super lyrical. Lupe doesn't do that enough to be considered the greatest lyricist of all time. Let's go to Liquid Swords right quick.
Hold on, let me get to these super chats. I'm going to let you get to Liquid Swords. Mad Max says, LOL, if bars don't matter over the song, you got to explain how you got KRS-One and these other guys over LL. And this Lupe album is great.
What are you talking about? We have like KRS at 8 and LL at 10, and the reason KRS is ahead of LL is because of catalog, not because of bars. So get that shit right.
And he also said this Lupe album is great. The Truest says, imagine comparing Counting to 21 by 7s to Wave Files. But yeah, go ahead. Liquid Swords.
Listen. This is what I'm talking about, how uninformed people are. Somebody is saying it was written as like 18, 19 songs, though. You stupid motherfucker. It was written as 14 songs with an intro. It's 13 records, and we're about to talk about it was written after we talk about Liquid Swords first. Liquid Swords, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many solo songs Jizza has on Liquid Swords? One of the best lyrical albums of all time?
Might be like 10, maybe.
No, not even.
Like 8?
If you count Living in the World Today where he does that brief back and forth with Meth, it's 7. If you don't count that, it's 6. You want to know why? Lyrically dense and heavy, hard to keep people's attention in for it to be a classic song. That's why Shadowboxing is important. That's why Fourth Chamber is important. That's why Investigative Reports is important. Because
I'm not going to lie to you, man. I go straight to Shadowboxing and Fourth Chamber.
Because you're entertained.
Yeah.
Because it's not as lyrically dense, even though it's lyrically supreme. I understand. You need stuff like that, okay? Lupe don't have stuff like that. Now we're going to go to Nas. Okay. How many songs is he rapping on Illmatic? I think we all know.
Well, yeah, that's 9 songs.
But
he's solo, 8.
And I'm just going solo, so it's 8 solo songs on Illmatic, okay?
Right.
It was written. Listen to what I'm about to say. If you don't count the fact that Havoc is singing the hook with him on the setup, Foxy Brown is singing this hook with him on Watch Them Niggas, and Dre does the intro to Nas Is Coming, he goes 12 songs dolo on It Was Written. When I realized that lyrically he did 12 songs worth of bar work like that on It Was Written, I said, this is lyrically the best album of all time, because nobody is 12 solo songs deep with bars like this on any album that's in this realm lyrically. Not 12 solo songs lyrically like this. It Was Written is lyrically the best album ever written. Lupe actually believes that. I heard him say that once. Take It in Blood is his shit.
Yeah.
Take It in Blood is Lupe's shit. That's my shit too. I told you, when I wake up every morning on my birthday, I play Take It in Blood.
Michael Sanders with the super chat says, Lupe the Cool is a top 5 most creative album in my opinion.
The Cool is his best album to me. We're going to talk about The Cool in a minute.
Dumb It Down says, you're dissing an artist for having one double diss. I'm
not dissing him. I'm saying
it's too much. He's saying that it's too much for
I'm saying we should be having a conversation about him being the greatest lyricist of all time with Nas and Rakim, but he's not, and I'm just highlighting why. So I'm saying he's in the discussion, but he's not on that street yet, and I'm showing you why he's not on the street yet. This isn't disrespect. This is rhetoric. This is discourse. This is critique. There's a difference. If we're having a conversation where I have to pull out Rakim and Nas's catalog, how is that dissing the MC?
Right. Seems pretty great. Jay Short with the super chat says, I think it hurts Lupe in GOAT conversations that he doesn't have a signature sound. I think he needs a Hit Boy premiere. He's kind of all over the place musically.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not concise. He's saying my thing for me. What he does isn't concise.
That's the entertaining factor, right?
Huh?
That's the entertaining factor, which is important. Because Snoop Dogg has entertainment in spades, and it helps him be one of the greatest.
I'll give you that. And so lastly, I'm going to go to Lost Tapes, because Lost Tapes is just straight 12 solo songs. Okay. So this is where I am going to give. And so we often talk about Rakim versus Nas, like lyrically, how you still say that it's Rakim. It's like, well, I can't say that when I see that Rakim doesn't have 12 songs like It Was Written or Lost Tapes, and Nas has done it twice. So even though it's splitting hairs, it's slightly more bar work on the solo tip, on a classic solo project. As in, Let the Rhythm Hit Him is 10 songs, Follow the Leader is 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, It Was Written as 12 songs of bar work by Nas on the solo tip, Mike. So is Lost Tapes. Like, Rakim doesn't have that. But here's what I'm saying. We can't have this conversation about Lupe because Lupe's never really done this. The Cool is still his best album. Food and Liquor is a great project, but it's all over the place. The Cool was his most concise project up to this one. It's still his best piece of work, mostly because of brilliant records like Dumb It Down. I know Dumb It Down loves that. Dumb It Down lyrically, bar for bar, might be like Dumb It Down, the record, is I Gave You Power, Follow the Leader record. That is his Microphone Fiend record. I know what Dumb It Down is.
Dumb It Down is crazy.
It's just that he spent too much time doing Dumb It Down, not as well as Dumb It Down. You feel me? He hasn't done it as well since then. Dumb It Down is concise and brilliant and masterful and has a hook.
I think the production on The Cool and just the overall songs were probably his best collection of songs on an album. The theme, the way it flowed. And again, that album was pretty long too.
It is, but you want to know what? And this is what I realized about it. It was his best beat selection on The Cool, and that's why it's his best album.
And I think he was a better rapper on that album than he was on Food and Liquor, personally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I told you, Go Go Gadget Flow lyrically is better than everything on Food and Liquor. The first record, he's up a level, high level. Yeah. And so that happened, but what I'm saying is that as an all-time great lyricist, the two best all-time great lyricists, first of all, are better beat pickers than we give them credit for in Rakim and Nas, and you can hear that in Lupe's catalog, and they're also more concise. And so although he's in this discussion, he's not at the top of this list. He just belongs in the discussion. I actually think comparing him to Black Thought is a better discussion. He is not in Nas and Rakim's territory yet. His catalog doesn't say so. The conciseness doesn't say so. The songs don't say so. I pulled up some of Rakim's songs today, and I was like, nobody better not ever say that Lupe is the greatest lyricist of all time with some of these Rakim songs that I'm looking at. And you can't name me 5 Lupe songs that are remembered like this by people where lyrically he's going off like this. Like, Let the Rhythm Hit Him is not a fucking game, Mike. The song.
It's not a game.
It's not a game, Mike.
And you know, it's always been said by people, or some would say that was a diss record towards Kane.
I
I'm
don't give a
like,
damn what
listen,
it
man.
was. You don't want none of that.
I was like,
Lupe don't want no parts of Rakim on Let the Rhythm Hit Him. I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
and you know, if that is the truth, that was aimed at Kane, I understand not responding to that. He went crazy on Let the Rhythm Hit Him.
Ain't no response for that. He kept on rapping. I forgot there was a fourth verse. I was like, oh, he's not done with niggas yet. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, okay.
I think I'm gonna listen to that tonight.
You need to. I apologize.
But no, man. I mean, it's not us being old heads in that way. Again,
we're not old. I went back and listened today. I ain't listened to Let the Rhythm Hit Him in forever.
Like Rakim was before my time, and I went back and listened to Rakim, and it's mind-boggling that he rhymed at this level at that era. Like when you listen to stuff like Lyrics of Fury, nobody had ever rapped like that before.
He made Cool G rap work his style.
Yeah. So again, all time though, where do you think Lupe belongs on an all-time list? Because I think he's one of those guys for me that's very difficult to rate, because there's a lot of people that he rhymes better than that I think have done, more musically. You know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. So listen to the category that he's in. I just got done bringing up Rakim's best albums and Nas's best albums and the GZA's Masterpiece album. So he is lyrically a top 5-ish MC. When I was actually thinking, I was like, if we're being, and I'm saying this based on this project, because this project is really, really dope and concise and enjoyable because it's concise and not over-filtered. I cannot put him ahead of Nas or Rakim lyrically on the Lyricist chain. I still don't think he has not made an album that's even close to Liquid Swords either. The Black Thought conversation is fair. I would still put Thought ahead, so I'm cool with putting him at 5 all-time lyrically.
Lyrically, we're just talking about straight up lyricists. Mike 100 says Lupe's hooks. Mike 100 says Lupe's hooks are a bit weak. What's his best hook?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so how about this? What hip-hop classic does he have that resonates in the hip-hop community the way... That's what I'm saying, like, when the GZA did labels, okay? Like, I know Lupe does stuff like that, but has he made a hip-hop classic song like that and delivered it from beginning to end on a record where we say that's a hip-hop classic?
Dumb It Down? You don't think that's a hip-hop classic? No?
What?
Dumb It Down?
Is it the way labels is? That's what I'm saying. How many people talk about labels? I mean, people know the words to labels from beginning to end. That's what I'm saying.
I think people might know Dumb It Down like they know labels.
Dumb It Down is more in that I Gave You Power, Lyrics of Fury type of like hip hop classic. That's what I'm saying. Like GZA's got Liquid Swords too. He's got Killer Hills 10304. You feel what I'm saying?
Paris and Tokyo. Michael Sanders. What's that?
No, Paris and Tokyo's. Yeah.
I think that's one of his better hooks too. Michael Sanders with the super chat says, Lupe the Cool kept your attention. It was well put together. Coop, you're actually making great points. I agree with you. I'm actually a Lupe fan.
Yes.
We got to have church today with the Lupe fans, because I know y'all been waiting for this moment, and we've been waiting for this moment to talk about this, and I think Lupe gave us a really good offering to talk about.
Right. People keep talking about this with Lupe. It's like, how about this? If you just want to talk about the lines, well, he might not be number one when it comes to lines. But that's literally one lane of lyricism.
I got some more super chats, and I see something that's going to be real interesting to talk about. LP says, Rakim, as we love him, is all Eric B. The style, vibrato, even choice of production. Since splitting, Ra hasn't done anything to give us the 80s feel. Got another one. Nas the Goat says, sorry, Rakim ain't got nothing messing with murals. And Jay Short says, Lupe needs the greatest hits to be appreciated fully. I agree with that. Murals.
No. Take your mural. Mural doesn't even exist if Rakim doesn't make Follow the Leader and Lyrics of Fury the song. So understand your history and know your place. Be quiet. That's next. Lyrics of Fury. Hold on. Lyrics of Fury, lyrically, time-wise, and timestamp, is beyond what Mural is, because Nas has done Rewind and I Gave You Power.
Yeah, you have to really factor
you don't know
in.
Know your history.
And again, I don't want to sound like, you know what I'm saying?
Watch the motherfucking tone.
I don't want to sound like, you know what I'm saying, that old closed-minded person, but we have to understand.
Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn with that shit. I do, Mike. Get off my lawn.
No, but we have to put in consideration that
talking about the Mural
a record like Lyrics of Fury came out in 1988. You got to look at what's before it, what's after it. And, you know, Murals, as dope as it is, and I think it's incredible, Lupe's had a lot to draw from in that moment. Murals is what, 2014, 15? There's been a lot of rapping.
Lyrical stuff has been made.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff to kind of go on and draw from. When you think about what came before 1988, there's nothing anywhere close to Lyrics of Fury. And so for that reason, I would have to say I would put Lyrics of Fury over Murals in that sense, because you don't have anything to draw from. Or at least, if we're being fair, you got to put them at the same level. You can't just sit there and say something.
About as one of the greatest lyrical songs of all time. It came out in 1988.
It's crazy. Like I said, think about the shit that came out before it. But during that period, people were sitting there rapping like, huh. And I say that respectfully. I mean, the style was just different. But this dude came on some super lyrical shit before super lyrical shit even existed. We got to give him credit for that. We can't just sneeze at that. Nas the GOAT says, I don't care what nobody says. Lupe is number 2 behind Nas for me, and he is this generation's Nas. And Nas said that Lupe compares, Nas said that Lupe compares to him on Drink Champs. I can see that lyrically.
Yes,
Mad Max says Lupe is better than GZA.
Lyrically. But the songs have to be there. Okay, you can give him that over the GZA. What I'm trying to say is that he still doesn't have anything close to Liquid Swords as a project. Like, he doesn't have a project that you can sit next to these projects that these all-time great lyricists has. He does not have the songs. Listen to me. He does not have the songs that Rakim or Nas have, hit or hip-hop song-wise, that resonate with the culture of lyricism like that. Because here's what I mean. I'm about to show you how part of the greatness of the lyricism of Rakim is the inspiration behind it. And so I want you to show me who Lupe is inspired the way Rakim inspired Nas. Because here's what I knew. I knew that fans were going to do this, and that's why I'm going to go. Huh?
Can we say Kendrick?
No, because this... Let me go to the bar. This is what I mean about direct line of inspiration, about how great you are, that you inspire somebody else that's literally as great as, if not greater than you. First of all, I noticed something. On Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em, Rakim is in love. He's talking about his wife Fifi on the first song. This is around the time that he met her. Mahogany's about her too. He actually mentions her by name. I was wondering how people knew who she was, because he never talks about her. No, he talks about her on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. He's actually talking about her on Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. When he's talking about the chick, he actually drops her name in there. Okay?
Right.
So let's just go to the format of that, and I'm bringing that up to bring up Mahogany, because Mahogany is what Nas sampled for New York State of Mind. Everything's fine, but I'm in the New York state of mind. Okay? Now, on that song, Nas says a bar that I've said on here many a times. What does he say? My rhyming is a vitamin held without a capsule, right? That's on the same sample that he's taken from Mahogany. Listen to what Rakim's saying on Mahogany while he's wooing his Fifi. Each moment's a mineral, poetry's protein, verses of vitamins, effects like codeine. See, Rakim is so great lyrically that what he does inspires guys like Nas to go take it and format it into their own, literally on their debut album. Lupe don't have no effect like that.
Even with that line
does Lupe have a Nas running around?
Even with that line that Jay was talking about, that what was the line that Jay was talking about from
Constant elevation causes expansion. I write my rhymes while I cool in my mansion.
Yeah.
Right.
He inspires lyrically.
He inspires lyrically.
Greatest lyricist I've ever heard. Nas the GOAT says, shaking my head, Coop. That was terrible. I know my history, sir. Yes, Nas the GOAT be on the show all the time. I know Nas the GOAT.
Yeah, you don't know your history about this. You don't know your Rakim history. Just because you're on the show don't mean you know your Rakim history. Did you know those bars I just spit from Mahogany?
Probably so. I mean, we all hip-hop fans here. But I will say,
no, we all hip-hop fans here, but some of us are different. No,
I think it could be generational too. Let me say this. Do you not think that it's possible that because Lupe didn't come around during our primitive years with, his prime material, that we may view him differently than someone who he did come out with his prime stuff in their primitive years?
Maybe, but you want to know, I also felt really, really tricked by Kick Push. Kick Push is one of my favorite hip-hop records ever, okay? Mm-hmm. It's actually the one record, that if it comes on, even though he's made better records, that's the record I'm most likely to play because it has a very, very hip-hop oriented and nostalgic feel.
I love that record.
I love that record. And he's not overly lyrical on there, okay?
It's just a really good song.
It's just a really good song. And sometimes when I look back at his career, I'm like, well, his influence and his place in his space would be much heavier had he made more records like that. I tell people this, It Ain't Hard to Tell is lyrical, but it's not I Gave You Power or Take It in Blood. It's inviting lyrical. It ain't hard to tell. I excel and prevail. The mic is contacted. I attract clientele. My mic check is life or death, breathing a sniper's breath. I exhale the yellow smoke of Buddha through righteous steps. Deep like the shining, sparkle like a diamond. It's not complicated. It's lyrical. It don't have to be all that stuff that people be making it into for it to be an all-time great hip-hop record. What he is missing is more kick pushes and too many dumb it downs, not done as well as dumb it down. That's what I'm saying.
Michael Sanders says, yeah, Lupe lacks influence. Dumb It Down says, Jizza is great, but it's one project where... where's the he don't go to work talk you give other artists? Why can't you give Lou his props without mixing in the negative?
I just said I was cool with putting Lupe over Jizza, so when he's saying that, is he watching the show? I'm just saying, I just said I was cool with putting Lupe over Jizza based on that. I just said he doesn't have anything fucking with Liquid Swords. Both of those things can be true. Lupe can be above Jizza, and he still ain't got shit close to Liquid Swords.
Dumb It Down says Lupe is blackballed, not allowed to have impact.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's self-inflicted wounds. That's why I love when Nas was making that comment on Drink Champs. You can't blackball me. Pretty much I'm Nas. So it's if you're that, there is no blackballing you. You get what I'm saying?
Well, the fans have kept Nas alive, and like we've said in previous shows, it's clear that these publications didn't want Nas to be here.
Right.
When you look at how they write these articles.
But he's Nas, and I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about that dude on the mic. You can't blackball somebody like that. They're too great to blackball.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I don't want to hear that blackball by Lupe. Lupe can't be getting blackballed and be as great as people say. All right?
I think Lupe is an incredible lyricist. Do you think that he is in the running for Lyricist of the Year based on this piece of work?
Yes. People like Sharif Abdul-Rahim can get blackballed because although they're good enough, they're not Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I think the industry has tried when it comes to Nas, but I think that, he touched his impact with Illmatic alone made it where he's not going anywhere. When you make impact, you're not going anywhere.
You know where you make impact, though, right? As a rap artist and as a music maker, right? You know why the Beatles are popular, right? Why the Rolling Stones are popular? Jay, Nas, Big. They're songs.
Yeah, it starts with the songs. Quincy Jones said that.
Stop acting like you can skip over this process of being like this guy that can just spit all the time without the songs to go with it. Does he have it? Where's The World Is Yours? Where's It Ain't Hard to Tell? Yeah, where's Eric B. as president? Where's Paid in Full? Show them to me. Show them to me and I'll put them above those guys. Because those guys got records like that. They're just immediate hip-hop buy-ins. Immediate. Made You Look. He don't even have a Made You Look. Does he just have a rap record like Made You Look? It's just on some rap shit. Nas isn't even super lyrical on there. Now let's get it all in perspective for all y'all enjoyment, a song y'all can step with. That's not super lyrical. Y'all appointed me to bring rap justice. But I ain't 5-0. Y'all know it's Nas, yo.
Great Goose with a whole lyrical? Lot of hydro.
Is that shattering the mold of lyricism, Mike?
It's about making a great song, man.
Is that your favorite Nas single?
Yeah, I think it might be.
It's probably his least lyrical single, Mike.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it ain't always about that lyrical miracle.
The hardest bar on there is don't say the car is topless, say the titties is out. That's the most lyrical bar on there.
Dumb It Down says Lupe's Tutsin Youth would never have come out, and he wouldn't be off the label without anonymous threats. If anonymous backs you, if anonymous backs you, is that not impact? Listen, Lupe has impact, but again, I think Coop's talking about the songs. I think what you're talking about, Dumb It Down, and correct me if I'm wrong, you might have been talking about when Lupe was kind of, speaking his piece on, President Obama, when he was saying something about he felt that Obama was a terrorist, he would be on Fox News and things like that. I think those are some things that you might be speaking about as far as like him being blackballed and, not being invited to certain things and performances being canceled. But it's not because of like, he made Cop Killer or something like Ice-T did. It's not about the music, it's more so about the actions, if that makes any sense.
Nobody sent Lupe no letter from the federal government or from the White House like, can you please stop talking about murdering us in songs and F us like they did NWA. Stop making it seem like he's some sort of menace to society who's been ostracized and like no, he hasn't been any of that. He's been actually quiet and low key for the most part, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as far as like this all-time great lyricist talk, I'm just trying to give you some perspective. I'm just giving you some paid in full, follow the leader, let the rhythm hit him, Illmatic. It was written, lost tapes to go off of, because on days like this, where he releases a great project, people are going to jump and be like, oh, well, he's this. And it's like, no. He's in the conversation.
The Nas the GOAT and Dumb It Down have been waiting for this day. I love it. Nas the GOAT with the super chat says, Coop, I love Rakim, but you can't comparing everything to these old rappers. Leave these old guys in the past. LOL.
No, we're comparing him to the all-time great lyricists. No,
there are other guys. Oh, let me finish. There are other artists better. Shaking my head. And Dumb It Down
says, there aren't other artists better than Rakim. Who's out here saying that? We need to cut his water off, Mike, if you think that there are artists walking around better than Rakim.
Dumb It Down says, nope, Anonymous, the Hackers, for his 5th album. Oh, yeah. Anonymous, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so with this I say, we're bringing up people that lyrically he's comparable to, because there's not a lot of people to compare him to.
Yeah, that's a compliment in itself.
That's a compliment. How about this? Like, I never felt like Kendrick was in Lupe's conversation lyrically. That's why I'm not talking about Kendrick. Lupe has always been better lyrically than Kendrick. I didn't even think that was up for discussion. And so you want me to talk about Lupe versus J. Cole to keep it more current than you? Because by going to Rakim and to Nas, I'm actually giving Lupe props. That's what I'm saying. Some of you younger dudes, when y'all like stop with the old head talk, you have to understand, if I'm having to talk about Lupe as a lyricist and I'm feeling the need to reference Nas and Rakim's greatest work, that's the highest fucking praise I can give anybody coming out from modern times. You should be happy that I'm doing that. That means I'm holding him up high, actually. The only person that I've even had a talk like this about is Kendrick. Haven't even had this conversation about Cole. So he's being held up properly. You need to get your shit together and listen to the totality of hip-hop, not just the era you were brought up in. Because Rakim and Cool G Rap and KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane or Slick Rick, they're not my era. I'm super versed on them. Super well versed. They are not my era. I'm super well versed on them. And I don't pop up and say, when the older heads compare Nas and Big and Jay to them, I don't sit up there and say, oh, well, you're just old and stop giving me these old guys. No, I went and listened to their music, and I went and understood this shit because it goes by era, but it also goes by weight class. Yeah. Lupe's in a weight class where bringing up Nas and Rakim is totally fair and open based on what your generation says. people need to get their shit together when they talking this rap shit if you really want to do it. And you need to know Rakim if you want to talk about Lupe this way. As a lyricist, you do. Don't feed me that shit. If you talk about Lupe being arguably the greatest lyricist of all time, you better be able to pull some Rakim bars out. Because I got niggas older than me that's going to have a problem with that.
The Truest says, name a Nas triple entendre. I'll wait. I mean, I think the triple entendre, it's not to quote Skip Bayless, man, but it's kind of like the triple double, man. It's a very overrated stat. We can live without it, really. I mean, it's creative and it's cool, but it doesn't make you the greatest rapper ever. We got a super chat over here that says, y'all always talk about Liquid Swords, but how did you like Beneath the Surface?
I thought Beneath the Surface is underrated. The production's not as good. That's where you can tell that like RZA not being involved kind of hurt GZA. But Amplified Sample, the actual record Beneath the Surface.
Nas the Goat says, Coop, I'm 40, LOL. I'm not young. Okay.
Oh, well, then stop talking like it. You know what I mean? For real. Like, I mean, I'm going to come up here and keep it funky with people. If you're not young, don't talk like it. Like, act like you know Rakim and who he is then. Like, for real. Like this be a respect thing. People be like, Coop, you be disrespectful to some people. It's like, but then y'all come on here talking about Lupe better than Rakim. Like, no, who really disrespectful? Who really don't know they shit? Yeah.
Now, I think that the Lyrics of Fury thing kind of got me because it's like, there were no songs like Lyrics of Fury before Lyrics of Fury. And you got to understand that this is 88. You got to give it that proper acknowledgement at that point. It's like, man, it's like somebody sitting there averaging 55 points a season with no three-point line. We can't just act like, you know, that didn't happen.
You know, I thought about something, a quote I just saw from Kareem. He's like, I got over 38,000 points. I only took one three-point shot. I was like, oh.
He only made one three-point shot.
Made.
Yeah.
I was like, thought about that. I was like, damn. And you think about it, he was never like an 80% free throw shooter either. He's like more like a 70, 75% free throw shooter. So I was thinking like, damn, it's like if this dude could have shot the three and been like an 80% free throw shooter, he had like 45,000 points or some shit.
Yo, I think it's really crazy when you think about Pistol Pete because he was shooting shots that would have been threes and making them. And he was averaging like 44 a game in college.
Yeah, he would have averaged like 60 points.
Yeah, imagine what he would have done with a three-point line. Because at least Kareem, we know he was in the post, whatever. But somebody like Pistol Pete who didn't have a three-point line but was legit shooting threes anyway and still averaged, what did he average at LSU, man? That shit was like 40-something over a game over like a 3-year period. Shit was crazy. The Truest says, but I ran like a cheetah. Is lyrical?
You see this?
Short says, y'all know Jay, Bluebird Entendre was an accident. Y'all stop. Leave Jay out of this.
Right. So the Truest keeps going to this whole ran like a cheetah thing. Like, and I'm saying this respectfully, fam, and you should see this from when me and Mike debate. You got to start using different points to prove your point, or your point starts ringing hollow. You keep repeating the same points. That's why it's starting to ring hollow. You don't have a lot of points to go off of. Like, that. Well, hold on. You know, we've been talking about the GZA today. Let's go to that Wu-Tang. Diversify your bonds, nigga. That's what I'm saying. Like, diversify your bonds. Like, stop saying the same thing about the whole ran like a cheetah thing. Like, we get what you're saying, but like, you've made your point, and now find some better material. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me and Mike do material every week, 2 days a week, minimum. New, fresh.
Well, this Lupe conversation was great. What do you rate this album?
It's really hard to rate off top. Can I ask you something? What did you think about the poem at the beginning? Because that's what really started my Nas thought.
I liked it.
Was lyrically, because I thought to myself, when Nas made Nostradamus, I'm sorry, I'm taking some spam out the chat. When Nas made Nostradamus, remember when he did that poem to start Nostradamus?
Yep.
Man, he got clowned for that. Niggas like, this nigga done lost all his street cred. But now in 2022, a great lyricist starts off their album with a poem, Don't We Love It? You see how unoriginal it is, though?
You know, when I think of poems
Nostradamus,
at the beginning of
99.
albums,
I'm just giving people context because people be treating this shit like Lupe do so new and so fresh. No, Nostradamus starts off with a poem just like this.
I think spoken word for me in hip hop kind of really got, I guess, popularized or fit in when Big Rube was kind of doing what he was doing with Cass and, you know, with the whole Dungeon family, because he was on some Goody Mob stuff too. But yeah, so yeah, when I hear spoken word and hip hop records, I kind of, you know, go back to that. I forgot all about the Nostradamus thing. But again, it's all about what you do after it too. And I think that New York's different, to be honest. I mean, we were talking about that earlier in our conversation. I think New York hip hop doesn't really have much of a license to be this artsy fartsy type of thing, especially in that era. You gotta come with the beats and rhymes.
Hold on. I know Lupe starts off this projects like this, guys. I'm just trying to say that it's not as original as you think. There's somebody that might have been doing it, that he might have pulled it. You get what I'm saying? You see how cats be? It's like, no, I'm talking about in 2022 how it's cool because this album is great. I'm not talking about it in relationship to the other albums. We're talking about how it sounds in 2022 on this album. You see how people be trying to win for him so bad, though? It's like, well, he starts all the other albums off like this. We ain't talking about that other albums. We're talking about the album that he just released today. I'm just trying to give it some relationship.
LP with the super chat says, in Greece, 20 pointers on the chain. I freak it. Triple from Nas. Pop Cristal like it's my first child. Double from Nas. Truist needs to chill. LOL.
Truist is wild.
Yeah, Truist is trolling. Truist got another one. He says, shout out to shootouts with mega cops is lyrical.
Oh, no, it's not. But that kind of goes to that whole thing where they thought the cops was acting like RoboCop and like Mega Man, almost like a machine. So when he's saying mega cops, he's almost saying like Mega Man, the video game, the RoboCop. Yeah.
Okay. So, Nas the Goat says, shaking my head, Coop. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I'm talking young and I don't know hip hop. I just don't agree. It's my opinion, sir.
And we welcome everyone's opinion. You're not giving me no evidence that you know Rakim shit either, which makes me concerned because you've been one of our most frequent contributors and supporters, and you call yourself Nas the Goat. I need you to know your Rakim shit. So don't take it personally. If you feel disrespected, I'm sorry. You know?
We don't want to disrespect anybody, man. We just trying to have these hip-hop discussions. Me and Coop even go back and forth when we disagree. You see it?
We do that shit all the time.
You want to move on to this Verzuz conversation?
Unfortunately.
Mike 100 says, Coop, Common used the same chick to spit a poem on one of his albums as Nostradamus. Which, okay, I need to go back and check that. Was that, which album?
Hold on. Common album.
Yeah, yeah. Swain says, Truist keeps taking one line from a whole phrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finish the phrase. Make it make sense. Mad Max with a super chat says, man, Truist, Nas said freedom of jail clips inserted. The baby being born same time a man is murdered at the beginning and end. That's Shakespearean.
Look, as far as rap go, it's only natural I explain my plateau and also
what defines my
name. See, that's what I'm saying when the Truist need to come up on here with better stuff. You feel me? Because it's like when he speaks to bars like that, now give me your rebuttal. Good one, Mad Max.
What I was going to say, too, somebody said in the chat, Twista's Adrenaline Rush celebrating 25 years today. And, shout out to Twista. We might be able to talk to Twista. I don't want to, say too much, but, yeah. Might be some things coming down the pipeline or whatever, but yeah, Adrenaline Rush 25, love that album.
Fuck with Twista, yeah.
Yeah, that was a game changer for me. I had that tape, and I was a huge Bone fan at the time. Bone had dropped Art of War, and I'm listening to Twista because, Do or Die had Poe Pimpin' out. I'm like, oh man, this dude's giving it to him. It was just that whole battle back then of who could rap the fastest. But Twista was able to do something different and made like some real mellow. He was different than Bone. Like he was rhyming fast, but he had some real dope songs that were like Get It Wet. There was nothing that was sounding like that.
Kamikaze by Twister. When did that? Hold on.
Kamikaze was 2004, I believe, or 5. The Truest says, Nacho Cheese, I'm Castro. It's lyrical. Man, he going in. You going to find all the Nas lines. Let's talk about this Verzuz thing, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time today. Go ahead.
Nacho Cheese, I'm Castro.
Well,
This was written shit, right?
I don't know off the top.
No. Hold on.
I agree, heavily censored.
Go ahead.
Twista's verse on Poe Pimpin' is one of the best features ever.
Yeah.
Man named with the super chat says, Truest is the Nick Waite of according to hip hop. Verzuz is coming with
that's Nas is coming. Nacho Cheese, I'm Castro.
Okay.
But compared to these niggas that swear to being real, the imposter, the Hoffa, Nas played kills. You see how he doesn't finish shit? You see how Truist doesn't finish shit? That's why I was like, Nacho Cheese. No, see, he's making gangster affiliations and references to tie it together. He's going from Mexican drug cartel to Cuban drug cartel to American drug cartel with the contextualization in his bars. The Truist don't know his shit. He keep on trying to be funny.
Can't slip one past Coop.
Ain't no slipping nothing past me. That's what I'm saying. When they said the Nacho Cheese, I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I remember how those bars go. Where I need to pull that from? Yeah, you full of shit, Truist.
So you said we can't rate the Lupe album right now. You want to wait till Thursday to give it a real rating, to give it a even more of a listen? Because off top, I'm thinking 2.5. I'm sorry, 4.2-ish. I'm sorry.
Oh, whoa, okay. Whew.
No.
Okay, so I was thinking 4.25 to 4.5.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
But I don't know. How about this? I was actually feeling more 4.5-ish, and let me see how the content holds, because he's so dense after a couple days, and see if I don't slide it down to a 4.25. Because here's what I mean about dense.
Mm-hmm.
You understand the first song? What's the first song called again? Pull this shit up.
Jay Short says Lupe's talent demands that we hold him to a high standard.
Yes, that's what we're doing right now. That's why I'm bringing up Nas and Rakim. Hello.
No, he agrees. Jay Short agrees with what we're saying.
Right, you're supposed to hold them to a high standard. They be saying we be shitting on dudes, but then we hold them to the highest standard. It's like, oh, why you being so hard on him, Coop? It's like, no, I thought you said he was that nigga though.
That's what I thought, Mike 100. Mike 100 was saying that's Common's Beautiful Revolution intro, Jessica Carmore. Because, I thought her voice sounded...
Or the poet,
Yeah, I thought her voice sounded familiar when we were listening to Beautiful Revolution. And I know when Beautiful Revolution came out, we spoke about it briefly. And, we didn't have a whole lot of great things to say about it. But it wasn't bad. It was just kind of boring.
It was boring. That was the problem with it. It's not like the music was bad. It was just boring. It's like, okay. It's like I feel like, making some scrambled eggs for the family, and then we're going to go play in the yard and play badminton for a while. Like, no, fuck all that. This is rap.
And not to mention, for me personally, not to cut you off, when Common says certain things, and, it was different like in the 90s when he would say things and he didn't have the influence and possible political power and influence that he has today. Now he says those same things, and me, I'm like, it sounds good, bro. Well, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, you out there, you know these people, make the change. That, so I listen to an album like that with a different ear now. Now, if he made this back in the day when we don't see him next to presidents, multiple senators, and, in these rooms, in these meetings with all of these people, that's different. But now you're making that stuff, and we've seen you connected with all of these people shout you out. I kind of don't want to hear it anymore.
I kind of don't respect it anymore.
That's it.
We just need to call a spade like we do with everything else.
Yeah,
our problem with Common is that we've looked up to him. He's been a great MC. He's been a great humanitarian.
Right.
And it just appears like he's not in touch the way that he used to be. It comes off as fraudulent and fake as phony. and we don't like it, and it's hard for us to connect with him now because of it. So even if the music is good, we kind of look at him like, oh, but like you kind of walk in there and shook hands and kissed babies and played yourself, you know, and we was fucking with you. You didn't have to do that. We're not even sure if you know what you're doing. Like you start going down a rabbit hole with him, and you're like, oh man, I just want to listen to Being Like Water for Chocolate and forget.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck, and you know, people can feel however they want to feel about this. I personally have a problem with the fact that not only did he not support Kanye's presidential run,
I got a problem with that.
You
too.
went out there and you openly campaigned for President Joe Biden over a guy that you know personally. You knew his mom, all of that. This man was integral in getting you to where you are, to the point where this party wants to use you to get support. I'm just not good with that. Now, I'm not saying that he had to go out there and vote for West. I'm just saying I don't like the fact that he went out there and openly campaigned against him. I don't like that.
First of all, Rusty now asked me to explain Uchiwali. There is no explanation for Uchiwali. All right? I would like to apologize on the entire hip-hop community for Uchiwali outside of the beat. But here's what I will say. You know how bad Common is? I actually think Common deserves to be in this conversation, even ahead of Lupe, because Common's an all-time... How about this? Everything that I said about Nas and Rakim and why I hold them high lyrically, in terms of their ability song-wise and album-wise to do it, well, Common checks those boxes more than Lupe and Black Thought.
Because he got the song. He has the songs.
Oh, man, he has the songs. He has the albums, too.
Yeah.
Hold on. Like, let's not get this twisted. Like, The Cool's not better than Like Water for Chocolate or B.
Yeah.
So he's got the albums over Lupe, too. And I know, like, lyrically, Lupe's better. But Lupe's not top to bottom the MC that Common is. And I don't even be wanting to talk about him because of how much of a sucker I feel like he is right now. You feel me?
And you know, like, I don't want to shit on Common like that. I mean, you know, I think that
about all this shit.
I think that these things could be rectified, but my thing is, and I would like to see some.
Mike. He don't have nothing like The Corner. Lupe has nothing like The Corner.
No, I'm saying, like, as far as like Common and his approach, I think things could be rectified. I just would like to see some action into the words. And now at this point in this juncture, and we've seen who you've been grouped with, and I hear stuff like Beautiful Revolution, and you're talking about dreaming of this and that, and it's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't. Because I don't even know if you really mean it, because you're not doing anything about it. Because you're sitting here with people who could actually do something about some of the things you say you got a problem with. So it's like, do you really mean what you're saying, or do you think that, is that just your angle when it comes to making music? I don't know.
Do you know what you're saying? Do you know what you're saying anymore?
I don't know.
You know what your message is. Who's feeding your message?
Right.
What is the message?
Mad Max says, Nas on every ghetto off Stillmatic. There's no heaven or hell. Death is death, F words, and y'all soul is with God. Your mind keep lurking the earth, watching your own murder reoccur.
Yeah.
Man, listen, man, the fact that we're sitting here defending Nas against one person, y'all know that the truest is trolling. We got another one that says, The Roots Unlocking is a classic spoken word.
People have to understand this as a lyricist, okay? We're talking about hip-hop, okay? Okay, how about this? People need to start looking at hip-hop like an organized league, like the NBA or like the NFL or like Major League Baseball, okay? And so what Lupe has decided to do is to play organized league professional athletics, in a sense, with rapping, okay? When you're in the league, this organization, you know how like teams, when you're in baseball, you play to do what? Go to the World Series and win the pennant and win the championship. In the NFL, it's the Super Bowl. In the NBA, it's the NBA Finals. In rap, Mike, your album and the years that you release your albums, that's your playoff format. That's your finals. That's how you get remembered. Nobody remembers like just the rhymes. That you're like, hey man, you remember this nigga spit this rhyme in 2003, and it was the illest rhyme ever. No, That's not how it goes when you're in an organized league, because this organized league takes songs and takes albums, and that's how you get rated in the class. You have to have the talent to be in this league. So he has obviously the talent to be in this organized league. As a prospect of a lyricist, Mike, he's a lottery pick. As in terms of lyricists all time, this is a top 10 lottery pick. Mm-hmm. I was watching Skip and Shannon today. Skip and Shannon was going down the number 1 draft picks that had made it, and the number 1s that were bust, and the number 2s that were bust, and the number 2s that had made it. Just because you're a lottery pick doesn't mean that you make it. He brought up the fact that, well, there's Kevin Durant at number 2. That's the best number 2 pick of all time. But there's Michael Olowokandi from the LA Clippers at number 2. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's Jay Williams. I'm a Duke fan. There's Jay Williams from the Chicago Bulls at number 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A lot of that's circumstantial, but I guess that could be in every profession.
But right. And so, but sometimes you get LeBron James or Tim Duncan or Allen Iverson, like right there at number 1. You know what I'm saying? And at number 2, you get you a Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? Or who's another great number 2 pick? I guess we could go off. Akeem's number 1. What's another great number 2 pick, Mike? They were running down some today. Alonzo Mourning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that. And all I'm saying is that Lupe belongs in that category. And he's a lottery pick. But when you start parsing it out, you know what I'm saying? Start parsing it out. It's like, oh, well, Lupe might be like somebody that you pick number 4, lyrically. Common may be somebody you pick number 10, lyrically. But how do their careers go, Mike, with those songs and those albums? Just because Lupe's drafted at number 4 lyrically all time, and Common is somewhere number 10 lyrically all time, doesn't mean that career-wise, Lupe's number 4 and Common's number 10. That's not how it goes. You get what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
So today, if we're saying that Lupe, let's take him all the way up. I think we've given fair evidence to the fact that he's not Rakim or Nas. So let's put him at number 3. Let's say he's a number 3 draft pick. And let's say Common's a number 9 draft pick. What I'm saying is Common's number 9 draft pick career looks better than Lupe's number 3 draft pick career. Who gives a fuck if that nigga got drafted number 3 when the player that got drafted number 9 has got better stats, more rings, more all-star appearances, more all-NBA teams? You feel what I'm saying? Why we keep talking about fucking talent in here like it matters when it literally matters more nowhere else? It matters about how you produce everywhere else. I'm so sick of this shit. Common has produced more than Lupe.
All right. Well, on that note, let's move on because I know we'll have a whole lot of time. Let's talk about Verzuz. After last night's Verzuz, everybody was, let's just keep it a buck. Last night's Verzuz didn't seem like anybody was taking it serious. It appeared to be a joke. And so my question before this one even aired was, is Verzuz actually over? And what could actually save Verzuz? Because I think that, I want to say that the Memphis Bleak and Joel Santana is going to be the next Verzuz. I think that's July 20th or something, the date I saw. And we posted it on Instagram, and Memphis Bleak, got into the comment section. So he didn't deny that it was actually set. So I guess it is confirmed.
Hold on. Ooh, you want to know what I just thought about?
What's that?
I know how to kill all this talk. This is what I mean about Lupe lyrics.
Oh, my God.
No, we're not done. Hold on. Listen to what I'm about to say. Not you and me, Mike. If somebody arbitrarily were to walk up to you and be like, we got a Verzuz coming, Common Lupe, who you taking?
I'm taking Common.
It's not even a conversation. You see how quick you were with it?
Yeah.
Because Lupe don't got the songs to fuck with Common, even though he's a better lyricist. But Common's an all-time great lyricist that deserves to be mentioned in that conversation. So how can you say that Lupe is this great when there are other lyricists that are comparable to him that have better songs and better albums? How great is he as a lyricist? Because these other lyricists know how to put it in a song and album format. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So, rate him properly. It's like, stop doing this whole bar shit. We're not on the fucking corner. This is organized ball. This ain't fucking Rucker Park.
Nas
Like that
the
nigga
Goat
best
says,
at
"Can we please move on? Coop is killing me." LOL.
I bet I am. You want to know a Lupe, the illest nigga in Nebraska, but that's about it. This nigga local with that.
Man, Lupe is one of the great lyricists. But I feel what you're saying.
He is. But as far as the great lyricist, he's the worst songmaker.
What verses do you think could happen or would need to happen to get people interested in verses again, or do you think it's just over?
I want to do a Common Lupe versus right now so I can embarrass all these niggas thinking that Lupe is better than Common. But
you think that would move the needle?
For Chi-Town, it would. Common versus Kanye is what would move the needle more, because Lupe don't move the needle or have influence like that. Like, think about the influence even in his own city. He's not even the most influential lyricist in his city, Mike. He's not even in second place in terms of influential lyricism in his city.
Well, I mean,
think about that. Kanye and Common have inspired more rhymes. Twister's inspired more rhyme styles than Lupe has. You understand what y'all saying? Like, all these other things matter. Rakim is what East Coast top-notch lyricists sound like.
Well,
how many niggas outside of Chicago sound like Lupe?
Well, I don't think Lupe's local with it. I think a lot of Lupe's fan base and even the people who are in here, they're not from Chicago.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying y'all need to start putting this shit in context, because this is the best project that he's made in a long-ass time, and it's still not, like...
Truist says, you exposed yourself by thinking Kick Bush is his best. DJ Bruce Almighty says, Mario's stock went up last night. Yes, Mario actually handled this as a professional and honestly showed that he was the best, singer up there. Probably I won't say the best overall talent, because I think that Omarion's a great dancer, but I think that
no, Mike, we can't get on this shit. People still doing this Lupe shit. I listen to Lupe.
Oh my God, y'all aren't gonna end this.
Lupe's had 2 decades in the game right now, Mike, to make a seminal album comparable to the stuff that I named.
Like Jay Short said, Lupe needs the greatest hits, so that
What hits, Mike? All the stuff that you named isn't high-level classic stuff. Like, I love Paris, Tokyo. You think that's the corner, or it ain't hard to tell, or let the rhythm hit him? Because that's the category that he's in as a lyricism. So since he's in that category, that's what I'm saying. When you get to a certain category, it starts becoming about what your songs and what your albums sound like compared to those guys. And compared to those guys, that's all I'm saying. You got the cool. You got Go-Go Gadget Flow, Dumb It Down, Paris, Tokyo, Hip-Hop Saved My Life.
What verses do you think would save people? I mean, not save people, save verses that people would want to see is where I was going to go.
It would save it?
Yep.
Nas and Jay.
Well, I mean, let's talk about one that you think
you
can
realistic.
actually get.
Something they can.
Yeah, we're not talking about Tupac and Biggie,
Something they can actually do.
Yeah, something that could actually happen.
Ooh. That's a good question. I didn't know that you were going to pose it that way, in terms of something that was actually like an actionable plan that could happen. I mean, I think because Scarface is on his farewell tour, you might be able to get a Scarface and Ice Cube, so that would be it. And I would only say that because Scarface has been showcasing his live band on his farewell tour, and because this is Verzuz and it's live, that would be great for him to do that. And, Ice Cube is eternally relevant, so I think
that would be cool.
I think that's feasible.
My only drawback with that is we saw how 8-Ball, MJG, and UGK got treated, and I think that a lot of people, maybe that was because it was a short turnaround, but a lot of people didn't even know that was going on. I would hope that when it comes to Ice Cube and Scarface, it wouldn't go down like that, but it does feel like, and I'm just going to say this, it does feel like there's a lot of NY bias when it comes to verses and how they make certain verses happen for, New York in a way that other people seem to get thrown together.
No, I think that because of who Ice Cube is in business, and that's why I said Ice Cube, because if it was Scarface and somebody else, I would feel worried. Especially somebody who's from the South that just got watched how UGK, like it bothers me more the more I think about it, how UGK and 8-Ball and MJG got treated. Like, I don't respect Swiss or Timberland anymore because of how they did 8 Ball and MJG and UGK, because they let me know that it's like, y'all aren't hip hop guys. Y'all are money guys that got into hip hop for the money aspect.
You think so? No, I don't think that's the case.
Timberland. No. That's what they become like. They're not about the culture. So it's like, I'm sorry. Like, we're not about to defend them. They some money grubbing ass niggas right now that have totally lost touch and base with the culture. I told you, I ain't nobody's friend. I ain't pulling up to be nobody's friend. I don't want to be these niggas' friends. These niggas are whack for how they did them. It's like 8 Ball and MJG and UGK are infinitely more important to this culture of hip-hop than Swiss Beats and Timberland could ever pray to be, in my opinion. So fuck them and what they did to them. All right? Period, point blank. Fuck you and fuck you. Shame on Timberland being from Virginia, which is a southern state, and letting it slide. I told you I was pulling up this year and wasn't giving niggas no hall passes. Them niggas too. You the main one to put me on the fact that Swiss ain't never even produced a hip-hop classic in his life. He don't got one hip-hop classic. Name the hip-hop classics albums that these two guys have produced. Because I can show you the classic stuff 8 Ball and MJG have done, and UGK.
I give you Under Construction, Timberland and Missy.
That's not a rap album.
It is a rap album. It's a lot of rapping on there. It's probably her most rap album.
Super Duper Fly is more of a rap album than that is.
What's that?
Super Duper Fly is more of a rap album than Missy Under Construction.
You think so?
I do.
I don't know. Under Construction is a lot of rapping going on there.
From who?
From Missy. Method Man's on there too. Jay's on there. It's a lot of it's a lot of rapping on that one.
Like, no, you see, cats don't understand. It's like, if you're not from down here, maybe you don't get how 8 Ball and MJG and UGK just got done by these guys. Like, maybe you want to show them some respect. I don't.
Well, you know what? On top of that, though, even outside of 8 Ball and MJG and UGK,
Ja Rule just got more love than 8 Ball and MJG and UGK. Fuck all that.
No, and not even just that. Even when you look at Cypress Hill and Onyx.
In the comments, I'm sick of Swiss and Timberland.
Even when you talk about like the way Onyx and Cypress Hill got done, that wasn't cool either. And and again, and the part I don't like is the fact that they put it back on the fans, saying that they didn't put it on IG Live because the fans said that there were connection issues or something like that. And you know what? I will say that about last night's show. The IG Live looked great. It was the best quality I'd ever seen their IG Lives. I'll give them that. So I didn't see no connection issues there. I don't know, man. I'll say this. I think that the matchup that is plausible, that could get people interested again, maybe Lil Wayne and T.I. I could see that happen. Rusty Nell says Eminem and Nicki Minaj. That would be interesting. I think that could actually happen. Nicki says she's open to do one. So I think that, if we throw Nicki in the mix, I think that a T.I. Wayne one will be great. And I think that could actually happen. Bagger Jones says, damn, there goes A2HH versus brunch invite. No brunches for us, seems like. But yeah, I think the Nicki could work. I think that, you know what? The one that people want to see and the one that's still out there is Nicki and Kim. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I think that could do great things for reviving Verzuz. But after that, I mean, I think it's just run its course. I mean, we're 2 years in. And I don't think there's too much more mixing and matching to go. I think the next Verzuz, like I said, is going to be Memphis Bleek and Joel Santana, which I think will be more entertaining than people might think it's going to be, because Memphis got a lot of records that he's on that he could pull out the stash or whatever, but I think for the most part it's ran its course. And Eminem won't do a Verzuz. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if there's anybody for Eminem to do a Verzuz with, because you don't want to do the Busta Rhymes thing. It'll embarrass him.
The Verzuz thing is a problem because they kicked it like a culture piece. Did they not? Did they not say, do you not remember our episode? Go pull up our episode where you talked about them. You was like, nah, Coop, they said they were doing it for the culture. I was like, did they say that? You said, yeah, they said that. You said, I got Swiss saying that they said that they're doing it for the culture. Now, are they doing it for the culture or are they doing it for profit? And if they're doing it for the culture, why aren't they accurately assessing what UGK and 8-Ball and MJG mean to a Southern demographic to give them their proper due so that I don't have the space in the room to go do this? You see?
Yeah.
I give Lupe his props by including him in a conversation with Nas and Rakim. Not discrediting him, that's giving him his props. How is how they did UGK and 8-Ball and MJG giving them their props? How is that for the culture? Somebody show me and tell me. Like, somebody show me and tell me. Stop defending people that aren't even looking out for the best interest of this culture so much because you like some of the beats they make. That don't mean anything. I told you, I don't give a fuck how much I see Swiss next to Nas rapping the verse to verbal intercourse. That's the greatest MC of all time. That's my favorite MC. You still look like a sucker-ass nigga to me. I don't care how much you stand next to him. People got to learn how to separate things. They're not here for the culture. They've been here for profit. They haven't even been giving us the verses that we want. We got Juelz Santana and Memphis Bleak. And you telling me to lay off of these dudes in this chat?
The Game and T.I., I think that'd be a good one too. I don't think they're going to do The Game. And I wish they would because I think that The Game does need something like that. Because I think that his catalog is definitely understated out here. You going in on people in the chat?
I am. I have to because people, I'm sorry, like people just don't have a grip on things. It's like people saying like, I speak like my opinions are facts. I'm not speaking like my opinions are facts. Show me where I'm off my square about being embedded in the culture of this rap shit though. According to hip hop is a culture rap piece that we're kicking out. When y'all are coming to me and y'all are saying these things, what you all need to do is leave your personal opinions out of it and come in here with facts. Because I sit down for hours and come up with objective ideas and thoughts and facts. Like I went down today, this morning, Mike, I got up and I picked out solo songs from Nas and Rakim's catalog to compare to Lupe to give it some context after I heard the album. You dudes are listening to the album and going crazy. You're not doing the work that I'm doing. So if I'm speaking factually about it, it's because I'm doing work that you're not doing too. It's easy to pull up in the chat and talk to Mike D and Coop. You don't know how many hours I spend researching this shit. So when you're saying I'm being ignorant, it's super disrespectful. And it's coming from people who are in here on a regular basis. But real talk, some of you niggas is getting on my fucking nerves because you don't put in the fucking work that I do. So when you're saying that I'm speaking about it like it's facts, I put in fucking work that you don't, nigga. Like, how about that? How about it's easy for you to pull up on According to Hip Hop and say, oh, Coop just talking shit. No, niggas, I spent hours studying and listening to records. Mike, I came up on here today and said, I listened to Follow the Leader and Let the Rhythm Hit Him today. Mike, we had a whole show to do an hour early. I still had to listen to Lupe's album. I started to listen to French Montana's album, Snoop and M's song, and take notes. My daughter's upstairs. No, you niggas is ignorant and not doing your homework. Don't pull up in here when I spent all day preparing for this show and giving y'all context for you to pull up and say, he just don't feel Lupe or listen to the album. No, bitch. I listened to the album and I listened to Rakim and Nas and Jizza and Ice Cube and the other great lyricists today to provide y'all with context. Stop being so fucking disrespectful. Like, for real.
Well,
like, the truest. No, I'm for
come
real.
on, man. Come on.
No. Niggas don't be putting in work. I'm putting in fucking work. I didn't have to get up today. I've been sick all fucking week. I've only got out the bed twice this week. It's about According to Hip Hop. Stop making it seem like I'm ignorant. I'm not doing the work or do justice.
Well, listen. At the end of the day, though, you know, it's all music and it. I mean,
Nas the GOAT. Just because you super chat us don't mean that you have facts, fam. You said some shit about Lupe. I haven't heard you bring up any Rakim shit. Talk about Rakim's catalog before you talk about Lupe this way.
Look, we're all super fans.
Sick of this shit. No, I'm sick of this shit. If you want to be a head, be a real head. When I'm bringing Rakim to the table and y'all are flexing, something is wrong with y'all, not me.
Let me get to this super chat. Marquez Davis says, fellas, just got promoted to cyber security manager. Congratulations. Want to spread love. Keep up the good work. Always good to hear you, fellas. Coop, you're right. Lupe is nice, but he's not. He does not have an album like. Let me even finish. Hope. He's nice, but he does not have an album like Jay, Nas, Big, etc. Well, congratulations once again, Marquez Davis. Marquez Davis be showing love.
When I'm talking about Rakim's paid in full, follow the leader and let the rhythm hit him, and this chat is silent, there's a problem with you niggas. Y'all don't know those records. Right. You see how silent the chat was when I was bringing up Rakim's legendary shit, the level at which lyricism and bars are measured by while y'all talking about Lupe? It appears to me that some of y'all that are coming in here like heads don't know what you think you know because y'all can't spit Rakim's shit.
Cool.
That ain't my fucking problem, no.
Cool.
That ain't my fucking problem. Not when it comes to the God. I brought the God to the table today and niggas is calling me ignorant in the chat. Fuck y'all.
Come on, Coop. Nah, man. It ain't fuck
like that. No, I take hold on, like Rakim said on I Ain't No Joke, I take this more serious than just a poem. Don't come in here and hold up Lupe high when you don't know your Rakim shit. Period.
Cool, come on, man. You good?
Nah, I don't even want to talk about it no more. It's just like, just don't.
We've been past the subject.
No, I'm so tired of niggas coming in here talking about like Koopy talking like his shit is fact. It's not fact. I do my research and my history. Y'all should be opinionated. I just pulled up Rakim's bars, his catalog, his words, and I asked y'all to show me the Lupe records that compared to, and you niggas don't have nothing but this stupid ass rhetoric.
Can we move on? I mean, because I know I got to bounce in a second anyway.
Yeah, bounce in a second. No, I'm sick of this shit. Niggas ain't gonna be pulling up in here when I'm talking about Rakim and not ready to debate, but calling me ignorant or saying I'm being emotional. I'm talking about Rakim and Rakim's catalog today, and while Lupe is not the greatest lyricist of all time, if you don't have something to add to that chat, you might not be the lyricist head that you think that you are if you don't know Rakim's shit. Period.
Andre Shashir, good to see you, man. He said, just got off of work. What's the rating on the Lupe album? It's a really good album. I think we'll actually put together a rating probably about Wednesday, but I'm thinking around like a 4.25.
Ignorant.
Don't let any of that. I mean, listen, man.
No,
we not here. Cool. Let me talk for a second. Let me talk for a second.
Like this nigga Jamar, like he be coming here all the time. Coop be speaking like it's facts. It's like, no, I'm not speaking like it's facts. I'm speaking it like I do my work and do my research. Who the fuck are you? Stop coming in the chat and saying that dumbass shit all the time and contribute something intelligent and worthwhile to the chat so I don't have to call you out and smoke you like this. That's all I'm asking cats to do. Y'all stop taking it personal and emotional and actually give me some feedback when I say Lupe's not here and here's why. And if he is here, give me the songs that compare to Rakim and Nas's songs that I'm talking about. Just don't be like Coop is saying that he's speaking facts. No, I'm not speaking facts. I'm asking you to give me something valid that sets off what y'all are saying. I said I'm probably going to give it a 4.5.
Coop, don't feed the trolling, man. You know what I'm saying?
Are people that come in here every week.
I feel you, man, but
like
again,
Jamar, no, I'm sick of this nigga. I'm so sick of this nigga coming in here and saying this nigga be talking Coop like he's speaking facts. No, motherfucker, I do my job and my homework. Y'all are in here to have motherfuckers that do homework and do their job. Let me do my fucking job.
I'm sorry, Darren Harris. I can't even talk right now. He says I'm silent because ain't no debate when it comes to.
Jamar, I'm going off what you say, which ain't no lie.
Cool. Let me read the super chats, man. Stop giving that attention, bro. Darren Harris says I'm silent because ain't no debate when it comes to the God MC. Of course.
Right now the nigga Jamar want to kick up his peace signs, but the nigga been in here for months talking this shit. Shut the fuck up and offer something intelligent to the chat, fam. For real.
Cool.
Like, this is an intelligent hip-hop show. Stop running in here talking about saying that I'm speaking facts. If you feel like that I'm speaking facts, then provide facts to offset them. Stop running in the chat and saying that.
Now to go with the super chat says, Coop, I listen to music every day, all day, and you're being disrespectful. I do the work, too. I don't have to spit bars. I know Rakim, just like you, sir. Listen, everybody can be respectful and, you know what I'm saying,
know
the
work.
Not
respectful to, no. We talk oftentimes about people putting in work. When you're saying I'm coming in here like I'm speaking facts, No, I'm not speaking facts. I'm doing work.
Again, you're talking about someone who, like you said, wasn't contributing to the conversation that way, and I don't think you should let that throw the whole conversation off course, because we got 200 some other people in here who were here for a conversation as opposed to one person derailing the conversation.
No, it's not just one person. It'd be a couple of dudes in here, and it's like the trolling be cool to a point, but to the point that we're trying to have an intelligent discourse about where Lupe belongs. Think about it. This is what I'm saying. I took this seriously. Like, I took what our clientele has been saying seriously about Lupe enough to get up and do homework on Rakim and Nas today. You feel me? Give me that back if you're ahead. Don't run in here talking about Coop be talking like he's stating facts all the time. It's like, no, y'all told me Lupe is all-time great, so I'm going to hold him up high and compare him to somebody that's all-time great. Give me something great to go off of, not that bullshit. I'm going to call you out the same way I call out these rappers, niggas in the streets.
Uncle Fram says, Coop, you good. Culture context matters, and you always do your homework, fam. Well, Andre Shashir says, Coop,
we just need to get this shit all the way together, because this was supposed to be a day where we were literally supposed to have an intelligent. I was really expecting to hear some Lupe songs today when I was saying this, and I haven't gotten that. I've gotten this bullshit. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I've literally been asking for a couple of hours now for cats to come up here, and it's like, no, if he's that dude, show me, because I'm trying to show you who Nas and Rakim and these guys are. Like, show me, and all I get is like, oh, Coop think he right. It's like, no.
Well, like we said earlier, at the end of the day, anybody being compared to Rakim and Nas is a compliment, and that's just point blank, period. Andre Shashir says, Coop, let me take a shot at him. LOL.
Well, it ain't like that. You see niggas done disappear from the chat now, because now they feeling bad, because that's what I'm saying. This is intelligent hip-hop discourse, and we got too many of the guys running in here consistently that I'm noticing, Mike, they're not really giving discourse. They're just talking out the side of their neck. This is a hip-hop head conversation when Lupe's made a great, concise, lyrical project. It's a hip-hop head conversation. Let's have a hip-hop head conversation, not that sideways talk that I'm seeing going on from some of these guys. That's all I'm saying. So people saying Coop melting down, Coop snapping. No, I love this shit, and I want to have an intelligent conversation. I wanted people to give me something viable to go off of about Lupe today, and I didn't get it because people are too busy doing that bullshit. I actually wanted some intelligent rhetoric. Like, we had intelligent rhetoric about Kendrick, Mike, and we backed off our sentiments because people did what? Provided us with intelligent rhetoric and sentiments and thoughts. And we said, you want to know what? We did our research, and we said, hey, let's change and shift all of that. That's what I was expecting to happen today. And so we didn't get any of that. I just Coop think that he right again. And it's like, no, nigga, argue your point about Lupe or I am right. You feel me?
Well, I'm going to read this last super chat and I got to dip. Yeah, I know it's going to sound like, it's 6 o'clock already. So, DJ Bruce Almighty said, Coop, UGK, and A-Ball and MJG picked Atlanta, the neutral site. 2, don't forget that they sold it to Trilla. Also, Bleak and Joel Santana came natural. They just provided the platform. Calm my boy down. LOL. Yeah, I think, it's going to be a better one than we think it is. And but I think that the problem with the 8-Ball and MJG one is the fact that the turnaround time was so quick. It was in days.
Dumb It Down is making my point from me. He's been in here making comments all day, but this is the first time he started naming songs consecutively. We're done here. That's all I'm saying. Is like Dumb It Down's been in here the whole time, and he's been saying what he's been saying, but it wasn't until I said all this that he actually started naming some Lupe. Now, why did I have to do all that to get you to name some Lupe songs? Because that's really all I asked for to begin with. It's like, I didn't say that I was right. I'm saying give me the songs that offset it. And so now I have to say all that to get him to say something intelligent, but he's one of the guys that's been here talking this shit and hasn't provided anything intelligent until I asked him to. And it's like, fam, don't do that.
I think everyone
give your man some props. I just sat up there and said maybe Black Thought and Lupe is a fair conversation, and nobody said anything, Mike.
I think everyone's just passionate about this subject, and maybe need some time to cool off.
People understand. So. People have literally been in here saying that I don't know Lupe's catalog, but I sat up there and named songs. They didn't name any songs. They just told me I was being factual and ignorant and was being emotional and didn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, no, give me the records.
Well, you know what? Like I said, I hate I got to dip, but let's man, we didn't even get to the other segments. Can y'all take this naming the songs over to Twitter?
Yeah, name the songs. That's all I asked for.
Y'all go over to Twitter, follow Coop on Twitter or According to Hip Hop on Twitter.
Yeah, I bet you niggas is emotional right now, but y'all should have like been prepared for